Chapter 2016. You don't have to withdraw from the mission. You just have to obey the command. Yang Ming was a little impressed with Xiao Susu this time. Moreover, with her, a person who had studied voodoo, it could save some trouble. For Yang Ming, one more person was not much. After all, the purpose of this trip was very clear. It was to deal with Elder Yu. Even Yang Ming himself had no idea, let alone others. So, one more person was considered one more wisdom. Okay. Xiao Susu didn't insist and just nodded. Yang Ming was right. Since Yang Ming's bet was to obey the command, then he asked her to go to Yunnan. If she insisted on withdrawing, it would be a sign of not obeying the command. Xia Bingbao also looked at Yang Ming very strangely. At this moment, he couldn't see through Yang Ming. After Xiao Susu said voodoo, even Xia Bingbao, who had always been optimistic about Yang Ming, thought that this time Yang Ming would definitely fail. After all, no matter how good Yang Ming's skills were, it was impossible to guard against this kind of voodoo. However, after Yang Ming listened to Xiao Susu's words, he still looked indifferent. This made Xia Bingbao a little confused. What is Yang Ming relying on? How can he stand here without any pressure? Is Yang Ming ignorant, or is he confident? Although Xia Bingbao had some doubts, he didn't speak at the moment. Instead, he quietly looked at Yang Ming and watched the follow-up development of the matter. In Xia Bingbao's impression, although Yang Ming was strong, he was not a reckless person. In other words, he would not do things that he was not sure of. This time, is Yang Ming still confident? Xia Shui also looked at Yang Ming with some nervousness. She didn't accept Yang Ming, but it didn't mean that others could recklessly challenge Yang Ming. Xiao Susu was a woman like her, so Xia Shui's heart was naturally uncomfortable. If you want to provoke someone, it should be me, Xia Shui, right? Not you, Xiao Susu. Therefore, Xia Shui was also very nervous. As for Lu Yezi, he was not very relaxed. Since he had recognized Yang Ming as his boss, he was naturally Yang Ming's underling. If Yang Ming lost, then he would lose face as his underling, right? However, Lu Yezi and Xiao Susu were acquaintances. He also knew about Xiao Susu's situation. Naturally, he was worried that Yang Ming would fall into Xiao Susu's trap. Thinking of this, Lu Yezi was still a little worried. He looked at Yang Ming with some eagerness. He prayed in his heart that Yang Ming would not lose. On this side, Feng Tianlong's mood was not very good. After all, Xiao Susu could be considered as his girlfriend. He had already stood up for Xiao Susu before, but he was subdued by Yang Ming. Now, Xiao Susu stood up for him again. It was a bit like standing up for him. In this way, if Xiao Susu lost, it would be fine. If Xiao Susu won, then Feng Tianlong's face would not look good. He couldn't even do it. In the end, a woman was stronger than him. What's more, Feng Tianlong still admired Yang Ming, so he didn't want Yang Ming to lose. However, Huang Lele didn't care. In her opinion, Yang Ming was very powerful, and she didn't know anything else. She just felt that Yang Ming would definitely win. Time passed by. In the blink of an eye, 3 minutes had passed, but Yang Ming was still fine. Xiao Susu knew that she was probably going to lose. Because 2 or 3 minutes had passed before the timer, and now another 3 minutes had passed. Logically, 5 minutes should have passed, but Yang Ming didn't show any signs of abdominal pain. This more or less explained the situation. That was, Yang Ming was not poisoned, or rather, he was poisoned, but it was broken by Yang Ming. Finally, 5 minutes had passed, but Yang Ming was still fine. This explains some problems. Comrade Xiao Susu, does this count as my victory? Yang Ming looked at the time on his watch and asked with a smile. Yes, Captain, you won. Xiao Susu nodded, but I want to know, how did you break my voodoo? Speaking of which, I won unfairly because your voodoo has no effect on me. Yang Ming was honest and said the reason directly, not only your voodoo, but the general voodoo is ineffective on me. Unless it is a very powerful voodoo, I can't avoid that kind of voodoo. After Yang Ming was poisoned by Lan Ling's voodoo, his body became immune to poison, and those low-level voodoo were ineffective on Yang Ming. Unless it was a voodoo at the level of Elder Yu, it would have an effect on Yang Ming. Last time, Yin Guangdou and others poisoned Yang Ming with the high-level voodoo given by Elder Yu, so Yang Ming couldn't be spared and almost lost his life. However, Xiao Susu's voodoo was not difficult. It was completely an ordinary low-level voodoo. For Yang Ming, it was just like the usual flu. He was simply immune. Oh. A look of surprise flashed in Xiao Susu's eyes. I didn't expect that this voodoo is ineffective on you. It seems that my loss is not unjustified. That's why I said that I won unfairly. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. A win is a win, and a loss is a loss. How is it an unfair win? It can be said that as long as you can win, the means are secondary. Xiao Susu did not complain. I used my advantage to cast the goo on you, and you also used your advantage to break it. This is strength. Hee, but your move also gave me a warning. I am not afraid of voodoo, but Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and Xia Shui are not. You being by their side is also a kind of compliment. Yang Ming nodded and said. Xiao Susu smiled slightly and said, Thank you, Captain Yang, for the compliment. I will do my duty. Xiao Susu's purpose had been achieved, so she didn't say anything more. She respectfully retreated to her team. Hee, now that it's like this, I am relieved. Yang Ming smiled slightly and said, In the future, we will all be comrades. I hope that everyone will work together for the same goal. Please rest assured, Captain Yang. Almost in unison, all the team members said so. Including Xia Shui, she was also shocked by Yang Ming. Ordinary voodoo is ineffective on him. This Yang Ming is strong enough. Hee, I will be the host tonight. I will treat everyone to a meal. Consider it my sincerity. Everyone can get to know each other. Yang Ming said. I agree. Feng Tianlong was the first to stand up and say. I agree too. Lu Yezi also expressed his support with a bitter face. As Yang Ming's underling, he should be the first to stand up and support Yang Ming. However, Feng Tianlong beat him to it. Naturally, he had some resentment. Chapter 2017. In other words, Lu Yezi was still a little upset. His father was a super awesome person. According to the definition of some online novels, he could be the protagonist. If he wrote a novel such as, My Father is a Reborn Person, or My Father is a Reborn Person, it would definitely be super popular. However, Lu Yezi's own qualifications were limited, so he was willing to be a green leaf. However, this green leaf was at least the number one green leaf, right? Now that the number one green leaf was snatched by Feng Tianlong, he was naturally a little depressed. Xiao Susu and Xia Shui naturally would not object. Only Xia Bingbao spread his hands helplessly. It seems that I am excluded. But it's okay, fatty. Let's get together tonight. Huh, okay. The fatty quickly agreed. He had no part in the previous matter, so the fatty also maintained his usual style. He didn't say what he shouldn't say, and he didn't ask what he shouldn't ask. He kept silent until Xia Bingbao spoke to him. Only then did he respond with a smile. That's it. At 7:00 in the evening, we will go out for dinner. Now, everyone is busy. We will contact again at 7:00. I will tell everyone my cell phone number. As Yang Ming was about to tell everyone his cell phone number, Xia Bingbao waved his hand and stopped him. Yang Ming, from now on, our mission has begun. It must be absolutely confidential to the outside world. Your cell phone should be replaced. Xia Bingbao said, from now on, please give your cell phone to me for safekeeping. I will give you a new internal confidential cell phone. Only our internal network can call. It can only be called out to the outside world but not in. It will show an empty number to the outside world. No problem. Yang Ming did not hesitate to take out his cell phone and was ready to hand it to Xia Bingbao because Yang Ming also knew that from now on, he had to obey the command. He did not represent himself, but the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The matters at home had been arranged properly, and Yang Ming didn't need to make any more calls. After hesitating, Yang Ming sent a text message to his friends, lovers, and family to report his safety. Then, he hurriedly turned off the phone and handed it to Xia Bingbao. Brother Xia, here you are. Have you really thought about it? From this moment on, there is no turning back for you. Xia Bingbao took Yang Ming's mobile phone, sighed, and finally asked. After all, Yang Ming was different from other personnel. Everyone else was an official member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but Yang Ming was not. Yang Ming was a non-staff member who was forcibly pulled into the team. Therefore, this mission was somewhat unfair to Yang Ming. At this moment, Xia Bingbao also wanted to ask Yang Ming what he really thought. He did not like to be forced. For such a dangerous person, only Yang Ming who was willing to carry it out could achieve results. I have thought about it. Yang Ming smiled faintly. There is no turning back the arrow that has been shot. Since I have come here, I naturally have to do it. That's right. There is no turning back the arrow that has been shot. Xia Bingbao nodded. I am very happy that you can think so. There are many things in life that you have to do even if you can't do them. There are also many things in life that you want to avoid, but you can't avoid them. Yang Ming sighed. This is a matter of responsibility. Since I have this ability, I have to contribute. Good. It seems that I have a good eye for people. I will keep your mobile phone for you. It will be returned to you after your mission. Xia Bingbao nodded and put away Yang Ming's mobile phone. He also signaled Xiao Zheng to get another mobile phone. Yang Ming's confidential mobile phone was already prepared. Xiao Zheng ran out quickly and ran back quickly with a brand new mobile phone in his hand. Captain Yang, this is for you. Xiao Zheng respectfully handed the mobile phone to Yang Ming. Yang Ming's previous moves also shocked Xiao Zheng. No wonder Brother Wang was tricked by Yang Ming as soon as he made a move. He is really powerful. Yang Ming smiled slightly and took the mobile phone handed over by Xiao Zheng. This mobile phone didn't look special from the outside, but it should be the latest technological product of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It gathered all the high-tech functions. This mobile phone is charged using solar energy. It has a very long standby feature, but it still uses the GSM network, not the satellite network. That is to say, you can only make a call in a place with a signal. Although it is an internet, it also borrows other people's base stations. Xia Bingbao introduced, the satellite phone is relatively large because of the battery. I will also equip you with it before you leave, but you can use this phone at ordinary times. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and fiddled with the mobile phone in his hand. Although it looked simple, it was also inconspicuous. It was like an ordinary counterfeit phone that would not attract any attention. In that case, I won't say much. The special training will begin tomorrow morning. Today's time is everyone's. You can do whatever you want, said Xia Bingbao. After Xia Bingbao finished speaking, he left with Fatty Fong and Xiao Zheng. Only a few members of the suicide squad, Yang Ming and Huang Lele, were left in the lounge. You can do whatever you want. Everyone, you are free to move around. Call me at 7:00. We will decide where to eat. Here, you are the landlord, so you decide where to eat. Once you have decided, tell me. I am here to pay the bill. Yang Ming smiled. No problem, bro. Feng Tianlong had adapted to Yang Ming's identity. He was convinced that Yang Ming was stronger than him. Even though he was the vice captain of the Secret Service team, he was only a member of Yang Ming's team here. Bro, where are you going later? You are not familiar with Yenjing. Do you want me to accompany you? Lu Yezi asked. Alright, I want to walk around with Lele. You lead the way. Yang Ming nodded. Cough cough. Xia Shui coughed twice at this time. What does Yang Ming mean? If you go out with Huang Lele and Lu Yezi, then what am I going to do? Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu are obviously a couple. I can't join in the fun with them. Wouldn't I be a third wheel? And she doesn't want me to go out. How boring is that? So Xia Shui coughed twice, which was a signal to Yang Ming. Xia Shui, come with us. Yang Ming smiled and said, You are now my woman. It is the same as Lele. You naturally have to go shopping later. Chapter 2018. Yang Ming was talking about the bed on the plane. At this time, it avoided the awkwardness between them. After all, Yang Ming did forget about Xia Shui before. This was also because Xia Shui had not really become Yang Ming's woman, so she was ignored by Yang Ming. Humph, who is your woman? Xia Shui couldn't help but frown. She snorted and then said, Then let's go together. I have nothing to do anyway. That's great. Yang Ming smiled slightly and did not explain much. Xia Shui's sentence seemed to be saying that Yang Ming wanted to invite her, and she reluctantly went. However, Xia Shui was a girl, so Yang Ming naturally did not mind. Even Huang Lele was amused by Xia Shui's words. She couldn't help but laugh. The four people went out of the stadium together. In the stadium's underground parking lot, there was Lu Yezi's car. It seemed that Lu Yezi's car was still very high-end. Yang Ming did not expect that Lu Yezi's level also had such a good car. Lu Yezi's car was a modified Land Rover. It was armed to the teeth from the inside out, and all of it was bulletproof. Bro, sisters-in-law, please get in the car. Lu Yezi opened the door with a smile and said. Huang Lele happily got in the car, but Xia Shui's face was red. She was a little embarrassed. She wanted to explain, but she thought that it was useless to explain, so she did not explain. Huang Lele and Xia Shui sat in the back row, while Yang Ming sat in the front passenger seat. Lu Yezi got in the car and drove out of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's administrative area and the military administrative area. They came to the road. With Lu Yezi's car, there was no need to register for Huang Lele. Obviously, Lu Yezi's car was also registered here. Although it was a civilian car, there were various passes inserted in the car, and the license plate was also special. The people at the door could recognize it at a glance. They did not hesitate to let it go. Otherwise, not only would the entering vehicle be checked, but the leaving vehicle would also be checked. Who knew if you were a spy who took away some confidential things? The car turned a corner, went on the road, and drove quickly. Boss, are we going to the mall or to the tourist attractions? Lu Yezi asked. What do you two think? Yang Ming turned his head and looked at Xia Shui and Huang Lele. I don't mind. It's not the first time I've come to Yenjing. Huang Lele shook her head. As a flight attendant, she had plenty of opportunities to fly around. She was no stranger to places. Moreover, Yenjing was a transit point for many flights. Huang Lele was no stranger to it. Xia Shui was the same. My hometown was originally here. I come back every year. Sometimes, I have to come here to investigate a case, so I don't mind. Yang Ming smiled slightly. He felt that the words of the two were a little funny, so he turned his head and said to Lu Yezi, Then you can do whatever you want. Just find a place. It doesn't have to be too good. It just has to be unique. Alright, boss, there is a night market nearby. It's very popular. In addition to the small soldiers and military families nearby, there are also a few colleges not far away. Students are also frequent customers of the night market. Moreover, there is also an industrial area over there. The workers also often visit the night market. Therefore, the night market here is very comprehensive. It is basically more comprehensive than a supermarket. You can buy everything you want. Lu Yezi introduced. Oh. Such a good place. Then take us to have a look. Yang Ming was also interested when he heard Lu Yezi say this. As girls, Xia Shui and Huang Lele were naturally interested in shopping. When they heard that there was a night market, they naturally would not refuse. They both agreed and wanted to go to the night market. It's not the first time I've been here, but I don't know that there is a night market here. Xia Shui was a little surprised. Lu Yezi, you are not simple. You can even find a night market. Sister Xia, what are you talking about? You coming here to visit Captain Xia and I living here. How can it be the same concept? Lu Yezi said helplessly, I live here, so I have to consider the purchase of some daily necessities. Although the team also distributes them, I still have to buy some of my own things, right? You don't need to buy these things when you come to visit, so it is normal that you don't know about the night market. What you said makes sense. Xia Shui nodded and did not pester him. Then let's go. What are you waiting for? I can't wait. When Xia Shui was in the police station, there were very few days off. Even if there were, it was because she took the initiative to work overtime or attend work, so there was no chance to go shopping. Moreover, Xia Shui wore the police uniform every day. She had no chance to wear some other beautiful clothes. Over time, she did not go shopping. However, not going shopping and not wearing these beautiful clothes did not mean that Xia Shui did not like them. Everyone has a heart of beauty, let alone a beauty like Xia Shui. For example, Xia Shui was also wearing a bright summer dress today. It was very refreshing and beautiful, but Xia Shui did not have the chance to wear it before. Today was the day when Xia Shui officially ended her work in the police station. She was about to embark on a journey, but before embarking on the journey, Xia Shui still wanted to relax. She wanted to go to the night market and enjoy the rights of an ordinary girl. It was also a reward before the mission. Therefore, Xia Shui seemed to be a little impatient. Xia Shui's expression naturally fell into Yang Ming's eyes. At the same time, he also guessed Xia Shui's thoughts. In retrospect, he had known Xia Shui for more than a year. Xia Shui went from a little girl who just joined the police force to the current deputy bureau chief and criminal investigation team captain. Although she had her background in Yang Ming's help, this was also inseparable from Xia Shui's own efforts. Xia Shui's entire energy was almost devoted to her work. With Xia Shui's identity and background, she could easily muddle along. He believed that with Xia Bingbao's help, no one would find trouble with Xia Shui. Xia Shui could also go to a leisurely department and sit in the office every day. She did not have to worry about anything. She could go shopping after work and go to parties with friends on weekends. However, Xia Shui did not. She chose an unusual path. She was a strong girl. From the beginning of her work, she had set a goal for herself. If she wanted to do something, she would do her best. This was also the reason why she confided to Yang Ming after she first met Yang Ming. Yang Ming was also moved by Xia Shui's attitude. He took the initiative to help Xia Shui solve several big cases in a row and put all the credit on Xia Shui's head. However, Xia Shui's ability was still good. Yang Ming was also tempted after the joke on the plane. Chapter 2019. If Xia Shui became his woman, then she would have to resign from all her jobs in Songjiang City. When he retired, Xia Shui must also go to X Island with him. However, at that time, Yang Ming could arrange another position for Xia Shui. X Island also needed a security management department. General Kars currently implemented military control, but with the construction and development of X Island, the army was only a weapon to maintain the peace of the island. The daily security still needed to be managed by another department. Xia Shui could be the person in charge of this department. This was Yang Ming's plan. Everyone had their own role. Arranging them in a reasonable position was Yang Ming's ultimate goal. On the top floor of the residential building in Songjiang City, Huang Yukai and the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, were staying. After the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, received a phone call, his face became extremely gloomy. "What's wrong?" "Falcon, what happened?" asked Huang Yukai. "I really didn't expect that Yang Ming was alert enough. He discovered the spy I arranged. Before he could shoot, he was dealt with by Yang Ming." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon's face was very ugly. So many years of hard work were destroyed in this moment. They were actually removed when they were just used. "What happened?" "Falcon, what are you talking about?" Huang Yukai didn't understand Falcon's words. "I planted a spy in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but this spy was removed by Yang Ming." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon explained, "This time, the person Xia Bingbao arranged to meet Yang Ming at the airport was an undercover agent I planted in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The reason why I knew so much about Yang Ming going to Yunnan to perform a mission, in addition to the contact with Elder Yu, was mostly from the undercover agent inside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau." "Oh. This undercover agent was discovered by Yang Ming?" Huang Yukai was a little surprised by Yang Ming's power. He was also surprised by the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon's ability. He could actually plant a spy in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. This was not something that ordinary people could do. "That's right. He was discovered by Yang Ming." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, sighed and said, "Originally, I thought this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau could enter the venue with guns. I was going to let this person shoot Huang Lele when they went to meet Yang Ming after he got off the plane." "Oh. Did he shoot her?" Huang Yukai asked calmly. Although he already knew that Huang Lele was fine, he still cooperated. Asked. "No. In such an emergency situation, in such a situation, Yang Ming may not be able to save her in this situation," said the behind-the-scenes boss, but in the end it failed. "It seems that this Yang Ming is still very powerful." Huang Yukai nodded and sighed. "Yeah. Originally, I thought that this person would not shoot Yang Ming directly because I was afraid that Yang Ming would be able to defend in the shortest time possible. So, I still chose Huang Lele because Huang Lele is not Yang Ming himself. But, it still failed." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, said helplessly, "If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have used this spy. This way, I could have grasped more information about Yang Ming. But now, I am in the dark." In fact, Yang Ming had thought that the person behind the scenes who wanted to deal with Huang Lele would be a bit stupid to use Brother Wang at this time. However, Yang Ming had overlooked an important point. That was, this spy was absolutely impossible for Yang Ming, but what about for a person who couldn't see through things? If Yang Ming didn't have the special ability to see through things and just happened to see the moment Brother Wang pulled out the gun, then when this person successfully pulled out the gun, wouldn't it be too late for Yang Ming to take countermeasures? Although Yang Ming had the confidence to avoid the gunshot, what about Huang Lele? At that time, Yang Ming probably couldn't even take care of himself, so he didn't have the energy to protect Huang Lele. If he insisted on protecting her, Yang Ming was bound to be injured. Therefore, this was also the reason why the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, used the spy at this time. However, he didn't expect that Yang Ming could see through things and saw Brother Wang's action of pulling out the gun in advance. Who could be blamed for this? It could only be blamed on Brother Wang's bad luck to encounter a monster like Yang Ming. If it were another opponent, he might have already succeeded. After he succeeded, it didn't matter even if he died because his role was to injure or kill Huang Lele. This was also the reason why the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, used this spy. In his opinion, the possibility of winning by using the spy this time was very high, but he ignored the accident of Yang Ming. "Then what should we do next?" Huang Yukai said faintly, "You know Yang Ming's skill. I don't think those snipers can do anything. This time, the airport had such good conditions, but they didn't succeed. I don't expect anything else. All of this is your stupid subordinate's fault. He actually used something called Allure Express. Until now, the goods have not arrived. That AO-san is still sending the goods. Does he send one for a year? Don't mention the past again. This is not my intention. Things have already happened. It is meaningless to complain again. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, said, what we can do now is to find ways to remedy it instead of blaming someone's mistake. That being said, I'm not optimistic about your follow-up sniper plan at all. Tell me, what are you going to do next? Huang Yukai snorted and asked faintly. I'm going to send another sniper to test it out. If it still doesn't work, then I have no other choice. I can only apologize to Elder Yu. I have a limited number of people on hand. I can't waste them endlessly, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. That is also true. We still have to leave some of our own strength. Huang Yukai said, let's test it. If it doesn't work, then forget it. And I will make a call to arrange it. After the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, finished speaking, he turned and went into his room. He took out his phone and dialed a phone number. Huang Yukai watched the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, enter the room and lock the door. He also pushed his wheelchair back to his room, picked up his phone, and quickly dialed a number. However, there was a beep that the phone was turned off. Do you have a sniper in Beijing? Arrange one for me to snipe the women around Yangming, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Huang Lele? Alice asked. Yes, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Well, I'll help you again, but if it doesn't succeed, I won't help you anymore. Brother, you know that my forces are in Europe. There are very few in China, said Alice. I understand. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, nodded. Someone will contact you in a while, but I'm not optimistic because Yang Ming's skill and vigilance are not something you can underestimate. I've been in contact with him, so I know, said Alice. Alice, are you in love with Yang Ming? The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, suddenly asked. Why do you say that? Alice was slightly surprised, but she didn't show it on her face as she asked. If not, why do you want to boost the morale of others and destroy your own? Asked the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. I'm telling the truth. Alice said, the removal of the nail in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau also proves this point. Well, little sister, you remember, as a member of the organization, you can't have feelings, otherwise, it will delay the important matters. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, reminded her. I know. After Alice finished speaking, she hung up the phone. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, looked at the hung-up phone in his hand and sighed slightly. However, he still shook his head and waited for the sniper to contact him. Lu Yezi's car drove to the night market. There was an open-air open space near the night market, which was a temporary parking lot. Many people who came to the night market to sell and buy things had cars, but they could not drive in the night market. They could only park their cars in the open space nearby. Although it was a night market, the stalls here started at noon and would not wait until night. The so-called night market was called because this market would be open until the second half of the night, so it was called a night market. Let's get out of the car. Lu Yezi parked the car and said to Yang Ming in the front passenger seat. And, let's get out of the car. Yang Ming nodded and got out of the car with Huang Lele and Xia Shui. It's so lively here. Xia Shui was a little surprised. She didn't expect a night market to be so lively and large-scale. At a glance from the entrance of the night market, it was simply endless. She didn't know how long this market was. Now it seemed that it was possible to sell everything because this night market was really too big. Yeah, it's so lively. It's my first time seeing such a big night market. Huang Lele also nodded. Lu Yezi led the way in front, and Yang Ming, Xia Shui, and Huang Lele followed him into the night market. Bro, are you hungry? There is a wonton noodle shop not far from here. It's very delicious. I often come here to eat. Generally, when I go to the night market, I will eat a bowl first. That way, I will have the strength to continue walking. Lu Yezi pointed to a place not far away and introduced. Fortunately, I'm not very hungry. How about you? Yang Ming turned to look at Huang Lele and Xia Shui. We will be eating in a while. Do you still want to eat now? Yang Ming, why aren't you hungry? I haven't eaten anything all day. Except for a little fast food on the plane, Lele and I have been hungry until now. You are not hungry, but we are. Xia Shui complained, just because you are not hungry doesn't mean that we are not hungry. Besides, we will eat at 7:00 in a while. It is only 3:00 in the afternoon. There are still 4 hours. I am starving. Hee, that's good. Let's eat something together first. Yang Ming was a person who had undergone strict training, so he didn't seem to be hungry at this time. He could reasonably control his physical strength to maintain a peak state, but Xia Shui and Huang Lele couldn't. They had been on the plane for so long. They must be very hungry, so Yang Ming nodded and agreed to Xia Shui's proposal. Chapter 2021. Let's go. I will take everyone to eat the delicious wonton noodles. Lu Yezi said with a smile. Lu Yezi led the way in front, and Yang Ming and the others followed behind. After a while, they came to a wonton noodle stall. Lu Yezi said to the boss with familiarity, "Boss, give me 4 bowls of wonton noodles." "Oh. Little Lu is here. These are your friends, right? They will be here soon." The boss was obviously very familiar with Lu Yezi. When he saw Lu Yezi coming, he greeted him enthusiastically. My boss came from another place. I invited him here. Lu Yezi said with a smile. The boss didn't know Lu Yezi's identity because the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't wear uniforms. Although they had military uniforms, the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't wear uniforms every day for confidentiality, unless there was a special meeting or something. "Okay, I will be here soon," the boss said enthusiastically. The 4 people found a clean table and sat down to wait. Not far from the wonton noodle stall, there was a fortune-telling stall. There were many people there, but Yang Ming saw a strange phenomenon. There were many fortune-tellers, but the fee was very little. When others were fortune-tellers, they would say a few words to arouse the curiosity of the customers, then they would start to cover it up. They would only continue when they got the money. However, this fortune-teller said it directly and didn't talk about money. If you are willing to pay, then pay. If you are unwilling to pay, then don't pay. He didn't care. He looked indifferent. This fortune-teller is quite interesting. Yang Ming glanced and said. You mean him? Lu Yezi glanced at the fortune-teller and then said to Yang Ming, "You mean Mr. Mo? He is a very powerful person. He is very famous in the market." "Oh. Is he really accurate?" Yang Ming was not very interested in fortune-tellers. After all, Yang Ming's fate was in his own hands in many cases. His rise was also related to cause and effect. Therefore, Yang Ming did not believe in fate. Most of the time, taking a step forward and taking a step back were completely different, so Yang Ming didn't really believe in fate. However, Lu Yezi spoke seriously. Moreover, this old man's fortune-telling method made Yang Ming feel somewhat curious. Generally, many fortune-tellers, great immortals, and the like were all scammers. Their fame was also bragged. The only purpose of fortune-telling was to make money. Of course, it did not rule out the existence of some extraordinary people. However, fortune-tellers whose main purpose was to earn money and make money were mostly scammers. Since his predictions were so accurate, why did he need to read other people's fortunes? Just by calculating the lottery numbers and stock market trends, he would have become rich long ago. Why would he need to read other people's fortunes? However, it was the first time Yang Ming had seen someone like this old man who didn't want money for his fortune-telling. It was up to him to give or not. It didn't matter how much he gave or how little he gave. Yang Ming had already seen several young people in ordinary clothes stop there and ask the old man some things. However, most of them thanked him afterward. They rarely gave money. These people were workers or students in nearby factories. They didn't have much money in their pockets. They usually had to save on food and clothing. They definitely couldn't afford to pay for fortune-telling. However, the old man didn't complain. He was still there enthusiastically reading the fortunes of these people. In this situation, only two possibilities were explained. One was that this old man was not short of money. He was completely saving the world and helping people. He was really a kind person. Another possibility was that this old man had nothing to do. He was bored at home, so he came out to play. However, no matter what he was, it had little to do with Yang Ming. Yang Ming was just asking casually. It's really accurate. Lu Yezi hesitated and nodded. Our Supernatural Investigation Bureau also deals with a lot of strange people. So this kind of thing that can't be explained by science doesn't necessarily mean that it's not science, oh? Yang Ming listened to Lu Yezi's words and smiled. Have you looked for him for fortune-telling? No, but Xiao Susu looked for him for fortune-telling. This old man is very powerful. He saw Xiao Susu's fate at a glance. Lu Yezi sighed. Xiao Susu's fate? Lu Yezi's words aroused Yang Ming's curiosity. What fate does Xiao Susu have? There's a curse in Xiao Susu's family. Girls can't live past 20 years old. She's quite pitiful. Her mother passed away when she was very young. Lu Yezi sighed. Xiao Susu's mother is also a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Her original intention of joining the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was to crack the curse from her family, but she left before she could figure it out. Susu grew up in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau since she was young. She and Feng Tianlong were childhood sweethearts. Because of her own reasons, she repeatedly refused Feng Tianlong's pursuit because she didn't want to implicate him. Oh. Xiao Susu has such a miserable life. Yang Ming was stunned. He never thought that his own team members would have such a miserable fate. They could not live past 20 years old. Xiao Susu now looked like she was almost 18 years old. Wouldn't that mean that she did not have much longer to live? This is not a secret within our Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Everyone knows about it. Lu Yezi said. But Feng Tianlong is also a love-struck person. Even if he knew about Xiao Susu's situation, he was still willing to protect her. Yang Ming suddenly realized why Feng Tianlong was so emotional to protect Xiao Susu when he did not let her go to Yunnan. Yes, this trip to Yunnan was a dead end in the eyes of outsiders. Once Feng Tianlong went, no one knew when he would come back. Xiao Susu's own reasons also determined that she could not live for long. If she died in Yunnan with him, it would be a relief. Perhaps when they reached Yunnan and entered a dead end, it was unknown whether Xiao Susu would accept Feng Tianlong. Therefore, no matter what, Feng Tianlong would let Xiao Susu go to Yunnan with him. That was why he was so emotional before. But after he was convinced, he became silent again. Obviously, he was a real man. Although he did not want to give up for love, he chose to give up for the orders of his superior. It could be seen that this person was passionate and persistent about his work. This was a good person and an upright person. If possible, Yang Ming wanted to have a closer relationship with Feng Tianlong and deepen their friendship. Although I sympathize with Xiao Susu, these things are not for me to worry about. Her life is not in my hands. I can only silently bless her. Yang Ming sighed. But what does this have to do with the fortune teller? Chapter 2022. It's related. It's like this. Lu Yezi slowly told the whole story. A few days ago, after Yang Ming received the news from Xia Bingbao that he was going to Yunnan, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were also confirmed as members of the death squad. At this time, Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong's relationship had also improved a lot. Maybe it was because Xiao Susu understood Feng Tianlong's intentions. She also knew why Feng Tianlong wanted to go to Yunnan with her. This mission was very dangerous. Xiao Susu knew clearly that this time, there was a 90% chance of survival. In this case, Xiao Susu's heart gradually opened up. She loved Feng Tianlong in her heart, but she was afraid that her fate would implicate Feng Tianlong and cause harm to Feng Tianlong, so she had always rejected Feng Tianlong's pursuit. But now, Feng Tianlong had already given so much, Xiao Susu naturally wouldn't reject him like before. The two of them were about to leave for Yunnan. There was a high chance of survival, and whether they could even make it back was a problem. Xiao Susu's fate didn't seem important anymore. So, Xiao Susu agreed to Feng Tianlong's first date. The location of the two of them was this night market. As a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, they couldn't go too far before going to Yunnan. They could only come to this night market. In the night market, the two of them also ate wonton noodles here after Lu Yezi's recommendation. Xiao Susu also saw the old fortune teller. Just like Yang Ming, she was a little curious. Girls were still somewhat interested in fortune telling, so she walked towards the old fortune teller with a tentative attitude. After all, this old man's reputation was very big in the market. Xiao Susu had heard of him before. Seeing him today, she wanted to see for herself. But she didn't expect that old man Mo's first sentence would make Xiao Susu's eyes widen. There are still 2 years. Old man Mo glanced at Xiao Susu and said faintly. The old man's words made Xiao Susu stunned, but then she thought of her own life. She was 18 years old this year. Didn't that mean she would be 20 years old in 2 years? The women in her family couldn't live past 20 years old. This was a curse that had never been broken. At this time, this old man Mo suddenly said this sentence. What did he mean? Was it a coincidence, or did this old man Mo really see something? However, Xiao Susu still asked calmly, what do you mean by 2 years? You. Old man Mo calmly said, you still have 2 years. If it was before, Xiao Susu still had her doubts. However, after hearing old man Mo's words, she completely believed the rumors. This old man Mo actually saw through Xiao Susu's fate with a single glance. While Xiao Susu was shocked, Feng Tianlong quickly asked, Sir, is there a way to break it? Everyone's fate is determined from the moment they are born. I know how to read fortunes, but I don't know how to defy the heavens and change fate. Old man Mo calmly shook his head, Miss, your fate has already been determined. This Mo is powerless to do anything. This. Feng Tianlong's expression darkened after hearing old man Mo's words. He originally thought that since old man Mo was so powerful to be able to see through Xiao Susu's fate, he should have a way to break it. However, he didn't expect old man Mo to directly say this. This also proved that the rumors were true. Old man Mo's fortune-telling was very accurate, but he didn't care about profits. If it was a normal swindler, even if they couldn't break the curse, they would say something to get the money first. Just like those sorcerers who helped Fan Jinja break the curse, they would get the money first. As for whether they could break the curse or not, that was another matter altogether. However, this old man Mo was different. If he couldn't, then he couldn't. The family's curse really can't be broken. Xiao Susu's expression darkened after hearing old man Mo's words. Thank you very much, not true. Old man Mo calmly said again. Not true? Do you have a way to break it? Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong's hearts were filled with hope after hearing old man Mo's words. What I'm talking about is the family's curse that you said. The curse can't be broken. Old man Mo said. Didn't you say that my fate is already set and can't be changed? Xiao Susu looked at old man Mo strangely. Of course your fate can't be changed. A person's fate is set at birth, but an unborn person isn't. That's why you said that your family's curse can't be broken. Old Man Mo calmly said. Old Man Mo's words stunned Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong. What did Old Man Mo mean? An unborn person isn't part of the curse? Did he want Xiao Susu to be reborn? Although Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were both from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and had come into contact with many mysterious matters, rebirth wasn't something that could be done so easily. Xiao Susu was the only one left in Xiao Susu's family. How could it be changed? Suddenly, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu looked at each other. They weren't stupid and immediately understood the meaning behind Old Man Mo's words. An unborn person can't change their fate, but an unborn person can. Didn't that mean Xiao Susu's child? Wouldn't Xiao Susu's daughter be part of Xiao Susu's family? Thinking up to this point, Feng Tianlong's eyes burned with passion. Xiao Susu had always rejected Feng Tianlong. One reason was because of herself, the other was because she was afraid that if she had a child with Feng Tianlong, the family curse would be a form of pain for her child. It was fine if she was like that, but if her child was like that too, wouldn't that be suffering? Thinking up to this point, Xiao Susu even wanted to let the family curse end in her generation. However, Old Man Mo's words filled her with hope again. Old man, you're talking about my child. Xiao Susu looked at Old Man Mo emotionally. Old Man Mo slowly nodded. If you do as I say, it's possible to break your family's curse. Please enlighten me. Xiao Susu didn't dare to delay and quickly listened. In the near future, you will be going out. Let nature take its course. When you go there, there will naturally be opportunities. When that time comes, breaking the curse, who knows? Old Man Mo said faintly. Ah. Xiao Susu believed Old Man Mo's words even more now. Going out on missions was definitely a secret, but Old Man Mo knew about it. Obviously, it wasn't revealed by others, but by his own calculations. What you're saying is that my child can break the curse in the future? Feng Tianlong asked anxiously. At this time, he played a little trick and asked about his child, not Susu's child. Chapter 2023. Xiao Susu hadn't accepted him yet, but Feng Tianlong asked because he wanted to see if Xiao Susu's child was his or not. Old Man Mo smiled as if he could see through Feng Tianlong's thoughts. Yes, but don't try to change her fate. It's useless. Hearing Old Man Mo's words, Feng Tianlong was happy and sad at the same time. He was happy because he and Xiao Susu finally got married, and even had a fruit of love. This was something worth celebrating. But he was sad because Xiao Susu's fate couldn't be changed. Thank you, mister. Can you be more specific? How can my child change her fate and escape from her fate? Xiao Susu asked impatiently. The future has its own cause and effect. This cause was brought about by your trip. As for the effect, we will only know in the future. The person who will change your child's fate has yet to appear, so how can I predict something so far in the future? Old Man Mo smiled faintly. Is that so? Xiao Susu was a bit disappointed, but even so, she was still confident. At least her child could be saved. Mister, there's one last thing I need to trouble you with. Since my child's fate can be changed, please help me give him a name. That way, he can live according to your design. Feng Tianlong begged. My surname is Feng. Xiao Susu glared at Feng Tianlong. She hadn't even agreed to marry him, and he was already thinking of a name for his child. What kind of person was this? However, Xiao Susu originally wanted to agree to Feng Tianlong's request for this mission, but after experiencing this, Xiao Susu was even more determined to be with Feng Tianlong. I know your surname is Feng. Old Man Mo replied calmly. How about this, let's name it Xiao. It's a homophone to your wife's surname. This name also has the meaning of happiness and happiness. This time, it seemed that Old Mo wasn't lying. He knew that Feng Tianlong's surname was Feng, so he didn't just say it casually. He also knew that Xiao Susu's surname was Xiao, so he gave her a homophone. Feng Xiao. Feng Xiaoxiao. Tianlong repeated the name and felt that Feng Xiaoxiao was a bit of a mouthful, so he added the word xiao, making it an overlapping Feng Xiaoxiao. It was a nice name, Feng Xiaoxiao, happy for life. Thank you for your guidance, Mr. Feng Tianlong said seriously. Go, that's all I have to say. Who knows what will happen in the future? Old Emo waved his hand and smiled. The above is the matter between Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, and old man Emo. Lu Yezi told the whole story to Yang Ming, which made Yang Ming secretly surprised. This matter was too strange. This old Emo wasn't a simple person. Huang Lele and Xia Shui, who were at the side, were also listening attentively. While they were sighing for Xiao Susu's tragic fate, they were also happy for her. While they were talking, 4 bowls of steaming hot wonton noodles were brought up. Although the boss's stall was a roadside stall and open air, it was very clean. The cooking utensils were all in front of them. At a glance, it gave people a very comfortable feeling of transparency. Xia Shui and Huang Lele couldn't find anything wrong with it. The fragrant wonton noodles were filled with chopped green onions and chili powder. It was very tempting, and it made people want to eat. Boss, before we eat, don't you want to say something? Lu Yezi asked with a smile. You brat, what's there to say after eating this? Besides, you've said so much before. Can't these wonton noodles shut your mouth up? Hurry up and eat. Yang Ming laughed and glared at Lu Yezi. Hee. Lu Yezi grinned. He picked up his chopsticks and started to stuff the wonton noodles into his mouth. However, the taste of this shop's wonton noodles was really good. A food stall always had its benefits. Although Yang Ming now had hundreds of billions of assets, his habits in life hadn't changed much. This was also a manifestation of a normal heart. If he was like many people who got rich overnight, he would really be a nouveau riche if he didn't go to a place that wasn't high-end. This also showed the tenacity of Yang Ming's heart. This was also a normal heart that an assassin must have. You must always maintain a normal heart so that you can do great things. The taste of this wonton noodle shop is really good. Yang Ming also praised. Yeah, boss. Don't look at the bad conditions here. Captain Xia often comes here. Lu Yezi said proudly, I found this place. After my recommendation, almost everyone in our investigation bureau has become a guest here. After a bowl of wonton noodles, it made them feel a lot more energetic. They also had the strength to continue shopping. However, just as Yang Ming was about to pay the bill, a few people who looked like punks came over. They glanced at the boss of the wonton noodles and said, Take out this month's money. Yang Ming suddenly frowned. He didn't expect to meet these punks who bullied the market here. Yang Ming looked down on this kind of people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Although Yang Ming was also a punk, Yang Ming had never bullied such a weak person. The boss of this wonton noodles, and even the peddlers in the entire night market were working hard to earn money with their own hands. They didn't steal or rob. It was completely the income of labor. If they robbed these people's money, wouldn't these punks be embarrassed? Yang Ming's character was like this. No matter what position he was in, he was also this kind of chivalrous, warm-hearted. Otherwise, when the old man who set up the stall at the school gate was bullied, Yang Ming wouldn't have stood up for him. When Fang Tian was in trouble in the detention center, Yang Ming wouldn't have taught that green-haired guy a lesson. Now, Yang Ming was also on the verge of exploding. Boss, calm down. Every place has its own rules. It's not something we can stop. Lu Yezi sighed and persuaded Yang Ming. This leader of the punks is called Big Tooth. Big Tooth is the son of the manager of the market management office. He received the money under the instructions of his father. If these merchants want to set up a stall in the night market, they can only grit their teeth and accept it. If they don't pay, the market management office will come and find trouble with various reasons the next day. These people have small businesses, so they can't afford to be troubled. Sure enough, the boss of the wonton noodles just smiled bitterly. He took out 300 yuan from his pocket and gave it to Big Tooth. Chapter 2024. Big Broker took the money and nodded with satisfaction. Good performance. This position will still belong to you next year. Thank you. The owner of the wonton noodles shop quickly said. Don't underestimate the role of Big Broker. After he went back, as long as he told his old man the list of disobedient merchants, not only would his old man come to find trouble, after the expiration of the stall, he would also arrange for him to be in a bad position the next year. A good position and a fixed position were very important for these merchants. Even good wine was afraid of deep alleys, not to mention that once the place was moved, those regular customers might not be able to find it, and the business would naturally be affected. After listening to Lu Yezi's words, Yang Ming took a deep breath and secretly endured it. In fact, Yang Ming also knew that even if he took care of these people, after he left, they would still be so arrogant, unless they were caught. But after they were caught, if a new manager was sent to this market, it might be a Big Moon or Big Sun or something like that, and they would even more severely exploit these merchants. The higher-ups of this market were private enterprises. Yang Ming naturally couldn't control their thoughts, unless they were bought over. Now it seemed that these managers didn't have any profit to make, so they privately let Big Broker collect the fees. After Big Broker received the money, he walked towards the fortune-telling old man Mo. Old man Mo, I say, you old man are quite good, aren't you? You don't even pay the management fee, you just occupy a place and start business. Do you really not put our brother Broker in your eyes? The person who spoke was nicknamed Brother Lu Zi, and he was Brother Broker's #1 fighter. At this moment, he was hugging a little girl, smoking a cigarette, and fiercely staring at old man Mo. That's right, old man. Brother Lu Zi kindly reminded you to prepare some money this month. Are you ready? The little girl in Brother Lu Zi's arms also chimed in. Old man Mo raised his head and looked at the few hooligans in front of him, and slightly sighed. What are you looking at? Look at your hammer. Motherfucker, is my girl for you to look at? Brother Lu Zi saw that old man Mo actually dared to look at the little girl in his embrace, and immediately became angry. Old pervert, are you looking for death? Brother Lu Zi, calm down, Brother Broker hasn't said anything yet, right? Why are you in such a hurry? This old thing may have prepared a big gift for us. The one who spoke was another of Yazi's thugs, nicknamed Big Pit Bro. Old man, Big Broker, am a man of my word in the market. When I do things, I always give people a way out. Last time, I already told you that if you pay up, you can continue to stay here. If you don't, then get the hell out of here. Since you want to continue to stay here, are you going to pay up? At this time, Big Broker spoke. Young man, this old man is only setting up a stall here to give guidance to the people of the world. I'm not setting up a stall to make money. As long as I don't starve to death, I'm satisfied. My stall here does not conflict with you, so why are you looking for trouble with this old man? Old man Mo sighed. Fuck. Guide the Lost Sutra? Do you think it's Zhuge Liang or Lu Bowen? Pointing out the right path? This old man will give you some guidance first. Saying that, Big Broker kicked old man Mo's fortune-telling signboard away and sneered, Old thing, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I've already given you a chance, but you don't cherish it. Who do you think you are? Just one sentence, if you want to set up a stall, then pay up. Otherwise, get lost from this old man's sight. The human heart is not what it used to be. Old man Mo shook his head and began to clean up the stall. However, looking at Big Broker, he said, before you leave, I'll give you a divination. In the future, your left eye will be green and red, which is a sign of blood. I'm afraid there will be a disaster of blood. Old thing, what did you say? You dare to curse this old man? Hearing old man Mo's words, Big Broker flew into a rage. However, before he could finish his words, a slap landed on his face, causing him to see stars. It was exactly what old man Mo said. His left eye was green and red, and there will be a disaster of blood. Even the people in the market management office did not say anything. So who do you think you are? Bullying an old man, what kind of ability do you have? Yang Ming finally could not hold it in any longer. He stood up and gave Big Broker a tight slap. Big Broker frowned and looked at Yang Ming in horror. He was not sure what Yang Ming was going to do. After all, whether it was the people who set up stalls in the market or the customers who often came to buy things, they all knew of Big Broker's reputation. Now that Yang Ming had given him a tight slap, Big Broker was naturally at a loss for what to do. However, Big Broker was immediately enraged. When had he ever suffered such a loss? Kid, what are you doing? You want to be a good Samaritan? But let me tell you, don't be a good Samaritan and get yourself into trouble. There are deep waters here. Big King Bro pointed at Yang Ming and shouted angrily. That's right, kid, I'll give you a chance now. Leave 10,000 yuan to Big Broker, then apologize to Big Broker, and this matter will be settled. Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. Brother Lu Zi also pointed at Yang Ming and shouted angrily. Yang Ming looked at these people talking one after another. He was not angry but laughed. However, since Yang Ming had already taken care of this matter, he would definitely not give up. However, simply taking action was the choice of the previous Yang Ming. Now, Yang Ming was not easily angered. Yang Ming glanced at Lu Yezin and said faintly, make a call and arrest these people. Extortion and blackmail are enough to sentence them. After Big Broker heard Yang Ming's words, his face suddenly changed, but he said, you are quite nosy, aren't you? What does this have to do with you? Look at you. Extortion and blackmail? I am charging a normal fee. Do you know who my father is? Yang Ming did not say much, but Lu Yezi firmly carried out Yang Ming's order. When Yang Ming asked him to make a call, he immediately dialed the phone number of the nearby police station. As a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Lu Yezi naturally had contact with the police officers in this area. After all, the situation in this area was very complicated. There was a military administrative area, and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was also a very important special department. The police here naturally knew about it. After receiving a call from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, the local police did not dare to neglect. It was definitely not a small matter that could alarm the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Therefore, the local police dispatched 4 or 5 police cars and came to the market at lightning speed. However, after seeing Lu Yezi, the local police were somewhat inexplicable when they heard that it was just a few punks who were arrested. What kind of people are these punks? They actually let the Supernatural Investigation Bureau investigate? Chapter 2025. After Lu Yezi told them to interrogate them properly, he didn't say anything else. The police felt a little strange. Could it be that there was something else going on with these little hooligans? They didn't dare to be negligent and immediately brought them back to the police station to prepare for a surprise interrogation. As a result, De Yitzi and his gang were unlucky. Originally, these people didn't do things cleanly. With conclusive evidence, they would face the disaster of being imprisoned. Of course, at this time, De Yitzi and his gang still didn't know what they had done. They were still shouting, my dad is in charge of the market management. What's wrong with me helping him collect the management fee? Why are you arresting me? In Yang Ming's eyes, these people were just small characters. Yang Ming didn't put them in his eyes. Yang Ming didn't pay attention to this group of people anymore. Instead, he turned his head to look at Old Man Mo, who was a fortune teller. Old Man Mo, since you have this ability, you don't have to make a living here. Find a safer place in the future. Don't come here again. Yang Ming glanced at Old Man Mo and said lightly. Naturally, I won't come again in the future. My purpose has been achieved. Old Man Mo said lightly. Your purpose has been achieved. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. He was somewhat baffled. I am here to wait for a person. Now that I have seen this person, I naturally won't continue to stay here. Old Man Mo said. What do you mean? Who are you waiting for? Yang Ming was a little confused. This old man Mo's words were full of wit. Who knew what he was talking about? The person I am waiting for is you. Old Man Mo looked at Yang Ming, still with a calm expression. The person you are waiting for is me? Yang Ming was stunned and felt a little incredulous. Why are you waiting for me? Do you know me? I don't know, but you are the fated person chosen by Brother Sunday, Old Man Mo said. Brother Sun? Yang Ming's heart trembled. Although the name, Brother Sun, was a little unfamiliar, Yang Ming still thought of something. Surnamed Sun. Could it be him? It was still the street stall, still the hooligans looking for trouble, still him taking action. Could it be that there is some kind of karma? Yes. You should be able to guess who I am talking about. The Brother Sun I am talking about is him. Old Man Mo looked at Yang Ming and said with a smile. Yang Ming, Old Man Mo's words. Calm. For a long time, the secret of the glasses was Yang Ming's biggest secret. He had never mentioned it to anyone except for a few people he trusted the most. This was a taboo in Yang Ming's heart. However, the old man before him should be someone who knew about this matter. Looking at Old Man Mo's indifferent expression, Yang Ming's heart trembled slightly. Perhaps, this person would be able to provide him with unimaginable help. 2. Of course. The person I am waiting for is here. Naturally, I can leave. After seeing you, I should leave and return to where I belong. Old Man Mo shook his head and said lightly. The quietest place here was inside Lu Yezi's car. Yang Ming made an inviting gesture and let Old Man Mo get into the car. The others stayed outside the car. Some words might involve Yang Ming's secret, so Yang Ming didn't want a third person to know. Old Man Mo, you can tell me now. You are looking for me. Yang Ming said straightforwardly because there was no need to hide anything with such a person. Old Man Mo had already made it clear that he was here for Yang Ming. Then, what else did Yang Ming have to hide? According to my calculations, you are about to walk into a certain death situation. Old Man Mo said lightly. A certain death situation? You mean, my mission in a few days? Yang Ming asked with a chill in his heart. Although Yang Ming himself didn't believe in fortune-telling, since this person could mention Brother Sun, it was enough to show that he wasn't an ordinary person. Some things couldn't be solved by Yang Ming's knowledge. For example, Yang Ming's super glasses couldn't be explained by science. Therefore, Yang Ming attached great importance to Old Man Mo, yes, a certain death situation. Since you are the fated person chosen by Brother Sun, then I need to remind you and stop you from going. Old Man Mo said. Oh. Thank you for your kindness. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Now, it's too late. Even if it's a certain death situation, I have to go because I have to go. Don't worry. Listen to me first. Old Man Mo said lightly, don't be impatient. Previously, I did want to stop you from going, but now, I have changed my mind. Changed your mind? Yang Ming was slightly surprised. According to your life horoscope, you will definitely die if you go this time. However, a few days ago, I met two people who were going to the same place as you. Their life horoscopes did not show any signs of death. Even if one of them did, it would be 2 years later. This is completely different from what I predicted. Old Man Mo said. Therefore, I am very puzzled. How did they survive? However, after seeing you today, I completely understand. You are talking about Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu? Yang Ming asked. That's right. It's them. Old Man Mo nodded his head. They will go with you. Since you're in a situation of certain death, they will definitely be in the same situation. However, they aren't. This is something that I've always been unable to understand. However, after meeting you, I've figured it out. It's not a certain death situation? Yang Ming asked without batting an eyelid. Yes, but you are fighting to survive. Originally, there was no chance, but after despair, the opportunity came again. This was not your destiny, but you have an unknown factor. This factor was given to you by Brother Sunday. This factor will become an important bargaining chip for you to turn defeat into victory. Yes, but you will fight to survive. Originally, there was no chance, but after despair, the opportunity came again. This was not your destiny, but there was an unknown factor in you. Old Man Mo smiled and said, "Previously, I overlooked this point. You can be considered a person whose fate has been changed. Your original fate naturally doesn't count anymore." Although Old Man Mo's words were somewhat profound, Yang Ming still understood the general meaning of it. That was, he wouldn't die in Yunnan this time. The important reason why he wouldn't die was probably because of this pair of magical glasses. "Thank you for your advice." Yang Ming smiled. "Then, is there anything else that I need to pay attention to? This old man will give you a word of advice. Let nature take its course. Don't force yourself to change anything. There is a good saying, when the car reaches the mountain, there will be a road. When the boat reaches the bridge, it will cross naturally." Old Man Mo smiled. "Sometimes, when you are in despair, you must persevere. Who knows, maybe there will be a glimmer of hope." Chapter 2026. I have learned my lesson. Yang Ming pondered for a moment and solemnly clasped his fist to express his gratitude. Regardless of whether what Old Man Mo said was true or false, his advice was correct. Sometimes, one shouldn't try to force things to change. There will always be a way when the time comes. Some things may seem hopeless, but in fact, there will always be a solution. Since that's the case, our fate has come to an end. This old man will leave now. Old Man Mo smiled slightly and prepared to get out of the car and leave. Old Man Mo, will we meet again? Yang Ming's love for talent was aroused. Old Man Mo's plan was flawless. If he could live on Island X, he would be a great help to him. The matter of karma, if it goes according to this old man's plan, then we will naturally meet again. Moreover, this old man will stay by your side. Brother Sun, you will naturally meet again. Old Man Mo seemed to know what Yang Ming was thinking and said lightly. Yang Ming was suddenly shocked. Indeed, he wanted to keep Old Man Mo not only because of his talent, but also because he wanted to use Old Man Mo to find Old Man Sun who gave him the glasses. However, Yang Ming didn't say these words, but Old Man Mo guessed it. This was enough to show that Old Man Mo wasn't ordinary. I will work hard. Yang Ming nodded and said solemnly. All of this was based on Yang Ming's safe return. If he returned safely, then everything would be easy to talk about. Protect Lu Yezi well. Don't let me down. Old Man Mo's figure swayed slightly. He got out of the car and disappeared. His speed was so fast that it made Yang Ming speechless. This Old Man Mo. Is he some kind of expert? Yang Ming rubbed his eyes. What is pretentious? This person is more pretentious than me. He is obviously a peerless expert, but he was bullied by a group of hooligans. If Yang Ming knew that he had such skills, would he still need to make a move? He was like that, Fang Tian was like that, and it was probably the same when he first met Old Man Sun who gave him the glasses. Ai. Yang Ming couldn't help but sigh. He always pretended to be pretentious in a low-key way, but he didn't expect to meet a few old men who were more pretentious than him. However, Old Man Mo's last sentence made Yang Ming somewhat puzzled. Protect Lu Yezi? Is this Old Man Mo related to Lu Yezi? It doesn't seem like that. If they knew each other, Lu Yezi wouldn't have introduced Old Man Mo like this before. At least in Lu Yezi's tone, Old Man Mo was a stranger, not an acquaintance. It's really strange. This Old Man Mo probably had some secrets that even Lu Yezi didn't know about. Otherwise, Why would old man Mo tell me to take care of Lu Yezi in private and not in front of Lu Yezi? But no matter what, Yang Ming didn't know the reason now. He could only wait until he returned safely from Yunnan. When he met old man Mo again, he could ask the truth of the matter. Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but sigh. Old man Mo's speed is faster than me. How did he train to have such good skills? Is he still human? If old man Mo heard Yang Ming's thoughts, he would probably laugh and scold. You have glasses, but I have aircraft. You can have high tech, but I can't have high tech too. Yang Ming got out of the car, but Lu Yezi was a little surprised and hurriedly said to Yang Ming, "Boss, what suddenly flew out of the car just now? And then it was gone in the blink of an eye? You scared me to death." "It's old man Mo. He is a master," Yang Ming said with a wry smile. He couldn't hide this kind of thing even if he wanted to. Old man Mo couldn't disappear into thin air. If Lu Yezi asked why old man Mo wasn't in the car, Yang Ming would have to explain, so he might as well just say it. Moreover, it was old man Mo who wanted to hide it from Lu Yezi. It was good enough that Yang Ming helped him take care of Lu Yezi. Help him hide it? Dream on. It's him? Lu Yezi's eyes widened. It can't be. What kind of speed is this? So fast. It's really him. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Such a talent should be introduced to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. We can't let such a talent be wasted. Lu Yezi said with some envy. Let's go. He's gone. He won't come back. Yang Ming waved his hand and smiled. He waited here just to say a few words to me. After he finished speaking, he will naturally leave. Aren't you clear about this? I really didn't expect that old man Mo was actually waiting for you here, bro. Lu Yezi said with some emotion. Lu Yezi, did you know old man Mo before? Yang Ming suddenly asked. Old man Mo? Know him? I don't know him. What's wrong? Yang Ming's question made Lu Yezi somewhat inexplicable. Nothing. Yang Ming smiled. Let's go. Let's go to the night market. Xia Shui couldn't wait. Previously, when Big Tooth and others were taken away by the police, it didn't cause any waves. Most of the merchants just clapped their hands and continued to do business. They didn't dare to comment on this matter. After all, Big Tooth's father was the manager of the market. Although Big Tooth was arrested, who knew if the manager could be replaced? Don't let others take the opportunity to find trouble. Huang Lele and Xia Shui were in front, and Yang Ming and Lu Yezi were walking behind. The relationship between Huang Lele and Xia Shui was much better. Perhaps because both of them were girls, it was meaningless to go shopping alone. At this time, they could give each other advice. Besides, there was no conflict of interest between the two of them. Yang Ming was about to leave, and there was not much time left for him to be with Huang Lele. It could be said that it was Xia Shui and Yang Ming's time to be together in the future. However, although Yang Ming was walking behind the two of them, he didn't relax his vigilance. After all, the previous phone call reminded Yang Ming that someone was targeting Huang Lele, and the scene before the airport also proved that what that person said was true. That person should be an insider. As for why he told Yang Ming didn't know, but one thing was certain. That person didn't want anything to happen to Huang Lele. But how could Yang Ming want anything to happen to Huang Lele? So at this time, Yang Ming was full of vigilance. He believed that if the other sniper really intended to assassinate Huang Lele, then they would definitely find this place. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau's base here might be a secret to others. They might not find this place in a short time. Chapter 2027. But for the behind-the-scenes person who wanted to deal with Huang Lele, this place was not a secret. Because the Nail brother Wang was a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he naturally knew about this base. He also knew that Yang Ming would be brought to this base. What Brother Wang knew was equivalent to the behind-the-scenes person knowing. So, if they wanted to assassinate Huang Lele, they would wait near the base. This night market might also become the place where they assassinated Huang Lele. However, what made Yang Ming feel slightly relieved was that this night market was located in an open-air and empty area. There were no residential areas nearby, nor high-rise buildings. It was completely an open space. In other words, the sniper could not hide on a high building because there was no such foothold here. If they wanted to assassinate Huang Lele, they must mix into the market and pretend to be a tourist to assassinate Huang Lele. In that case, the sniper rifle was useless. People came and went in the night market. It was impossible for the sniper rifle to aim at Huang Lele from a distance. Not only would they not be able to hit Huang Lele, but they would also hit the innocent tourists. Of course, for these people, there was no psychological burden to injure the tourists. If they were injured, they would be injured. But if they missed, it would inevitably cause chaos. It would be difficult for them to make a move again. Therefore, the only way was to ambush at close range. In this way, the assassin must pretend to be a pedestrian, mix to Huang Lele's side, and then wait for the opportunity to make a move. As for Yang Ming, he had been paying attention to the wanderers around Huang Lele. He was paying attention to whether there were any inappropriate people who had just joined. Bro, what are you doing? Lu Yezi also saw that Yang Ming was not right. Someone wants to assassinate Lele. I have to be 120% alert. I can't let go of any clues. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. Oh. Sister-in-law Lele is in danger? Lu Yezi was slightly stunned. Bro, leave this to me. Sister-in-law is in danger. I will inform you immediately. Oh. Yang Ming was slightly stunned after listening to Lu Yezi's words. He looked at Lu Yezi strangely. Isn't Lu Yezi's words too confident? What kind of assurance did he have that made him so confident? However, even if Lu Yezi said so, Yang Ming still did not relax his vigilance. It was better to rely on oneself than on others. Yang Ming also believed that Lu Yezi would not deceive him, but this kind of thing was related to Huang Lele's safety after all. There was nothing wrong with being careful. For these little things sold in the night market, Yang Ming naturally had no interest. However, Xia Shui and Huang Lele were different. The two of them were like Granny Lu entering the Grand View Garden. Everything they saw was new and they were curious. If he didn't ask and stop to touch it, it would seem that he would be letting down this trip. Yang Ming could understand Huang Lele's behavior, but Xia Shui was about to leave for Yunnan. Could it be that she still had to pack up these little toys that she bought? Of course, Yang Ming also knew that it was impossible, but since it was impossible, why would Xia Shui buy it? Could it be that she wanted to leave it at home? However, that was Xia Shui's behavior. Yang Ming could not interfere. If she wanted to buy it, then let her buy it. This was the last time to relax before the mission. It was good to relax. She could relax so that she could better devote herself to the battle in the future. Bro, there is danger. Lu Yezi's face suddenly tightened. He covered his chest with his right hand and said to Yang Ming with a frown. Oh. Yang Ming's mood also subconsciously tightened. There was nothing strange around Huang Lele, right? At this moment, Huang Lele was stopping in front of a pottery stall. She and Xia Shui were curiously looking at the pottery handicrafts on the stall. There was no suspicious person around Huang Lele. On the pottery stall, apart from the stall owner, there were only Huang Lele and Xia Shui. Why did Lu Yezi suddenly say that there was danger? This made Yang Ming very puzzled. But with Yang Ming's understanding of Lu Yezi, he also knew that Lu Yezi was not a person who spoke without thinking. He must have his reasons for saying so. Thinking of this, Yang Ming was more vigilant. Yang Ming's gaze first swept to the owner of the pottery stall. This stall owner was a middle-aged woman in her 40s. In theory, there should be no problem because the people who set up the stall here should be familiar people in the market. It was impossible for unfamiliar people to set up a stall here. It was the first time they came here, so they could not occupy such a front stall. Moreover, from the way the middle-aged woman and the sock seller were talking, it could be seen that the two of them knew each other. Unless there was something wrong with both of them, it could prove that there was nothing wrong with the owner of the clay stall. Since she had no problem, then the person with the problem was. Suddenly, Yang Ming's gaze focused. A thin middle-aged man in a trench coat was walking quickly toward Huang Lele. This person seemed very ordinary, and there was nothing suspicious, but Yang Ming felt that this person was very suspicious. First, it was spring now. Although the weather was not so hot, it was not so cold. In this season, it was normal to wear a trench coat over unlined clothes, but it was a bit abnormal to wear it in this night market. There were many people in this night market, and the snacks were everywhere. Many stalls were steaming hot. If it was a person who often visited the night market, no one would wear so much. In the night market, it would be very hot. Second, this person's pace was very fast. If he came to visit the night market, how could he walk so fast? What could he see if he walked so fast? Just these 2 points were enough to prove that this person was a suspicious person. Of course, this person might not come to the night market often, or it was possible that he came to the night market to find someone. He walked so fast, but these were not important. Yang Ming was just suspicious, and that was enough. Since he was already suspicious, Yang Ming naturally could not stand by and watch. Instead, he walked quickly and took a few steps behind the man in the trench coat. Yang Ming directly reached out and patted the shoulder of the man in the trench coat. "I say, buddy," the body of the man in the trench coat tightened, but he subconsciously wanted to escape. Seeing that this person wanted to escape, Yang Ming's expression suddenly tightened. Yang Ming's pat was just a test. If this person had no problem, then the reaction at this moment would definitely be to turn around in doubt. Naturally, it was impossible for him to escape. Generally, when a normal person was walking on the road and was patted from behind, the first thought would be to turn around and see who patted him, right? What's the matter? If there was no guilt in his heart, who would want to escape? Chapter 2028. So, Yang Ming immediately felt that there was something wrong with this person. Yang Ming naturally wouldn't let him run away. Yang Ming subconsciously raised his hand and grabbed the back of this person's neck. "Don't run. If you run one more step, I'll crush your bones," Yang Ming said lightly. The windbreaker-wearing man's body suddenly tightened. His neck was being pinched, so he naturally stopped his footsteps. Sweat also seeped out from his forehead. As an assassin, he wasn't very smart. He was just a sniper. He was good at using his gun to kill people in the dark. This kind of close-range killing wasn't his strength. Of course, it wasn't his strength, but it didn't mean that he didn't know how to do it. At least in the country, he was also a top assassin. There was no doubt about this. However, his psychological quality when facing the enemy was relatively weak. Previously, he was in the dark. Occasionally, he would be in the light, so he wouldn't encounter such an obstacle like Yang Ming. But today, when he was suddenly patted from behind, the windbreaker-wearing man's first thought was that his whereabouts were discovered, so he subconsciously wanted to run away. But after he made the action of running away, he regretted it. If the person was really coming for him, then it was useless for him to run away. Since he could see through his flaw, then he definitely wasn't a mediocre person. He shouldn't be able to run away. This was a stupid choice. However, if the person wasn't coming for him, but just mistook him for someone else, then there was no need to run at all. Therefore, it was better to pretend that nothing had happened and turn around to ask the person why he was patted on the head. "You. What are you doing? Why did you crush my bones?" The windbreaker-wearing man carefully and innocently regained his consciousness. He looked at Yang Ming and asked weakly. "You don't know what I'm going to do?" Yang Ming asked faintly, "But why are you running?" I. You patted me just now. I thought I met a thief, so I naturally wanted to leave quickly. The windbreaker-wearing man said carefully. Thief? Yang Ming smiled faintly. That's great. Then I'll be a thief for once. As Yang Ming spoke, he used his other hand to search the trench coat man's body. The windbreaker-wearing man's expression immediately changed. He wanted to refuse and resist, but Yang Ming's hand on his neck never loosened, so he didn't dare to act rashly. Who was Yang Ming? He was the king of assassins, so how could he give him any chance? At every moment, Yang Ming had the initiative and the upper hand. He would not give the man in the windbreaker the slightest chance to turn the tables. What is this? Yang Ming took out a pistol and a dagger and shook them in front of the man in the windbreaker. Are you afraid that someone will steal your dagger or your gun? This. I'm a police officer. The man had an idea and said. Huang Lele and Xia Shui were almost done shopping. Moreover, there was the windbreaker man. Huang Lele naturally didn't have the mood to continue shopping. Everyone walked in the direction of the car together. Lu Yezi, how can you feel the danger in advance? When you gave me the warning before, this windbreaker man didn't seem to have appeared yet, right? Yang Ming lowered his voice and looked at Lu Yezi. This was also something that Yang Ming had been puzzled about. I didn't find anything wrong before, so how did Lu Yezi find out? When he gave the warning, this windbreaker man was probably still 100 meters away, right? At that distance, no one could be sure what this windbreaker man was doing, but Lu Yezi just told Yang Ming that it was dangerous. Moreover, this windbreaker man walked forward from behind the two of them. Lu Yezi didn't seem to have turned around before. How did he know without turning around? Does he have eyes on the back of his head? Or does he also have a special ability like me? Ugh. Boss, since you are my boss and the captain of this operation, then I won't hide it from you. In fact, this is related to a godly artifact on me. This artifact can predict bad luck. There are many people now. When there is no one around, I will tell you in detail. Lu Yezi hesitated and said. Chapter 2029. Since they were about to go to Yunnan together to carry out a difficult mission, then they were brothers in the trench. Lu Yezi must tell Yang Ming what abilities Lu Yezi had in advance. In this way, Yang Ming would be clear about the strengths of each teammate in the team. He could also reasonably formulate a battle plan to lay the foundation for everyone's sincere cooperation in the future. If he still hid it at this time, not only would it not be beneficial, but it might also ruin the plan because of his own private stash. Lu Yezi was very clear about this, so he still said such a huge secret. And Yang Ming was someone he respected and admired, so he didn't hide anything from him. Oh. Godly artifact? Yang Ming couldn't help but be stunned. He glanced at Lu Yezi with some suspicion. I have a magical pair of glasses. Could it be that Lu Yezi also has something good on him? When we get back to the car, I will tell you in detail, boss. Lu Yezi said, now there are too many idlers in this market. Although they may not know what I am talking about even if I say it, it is better to be careful about this kind of thing. You are right. There is nothing wrong with being careful. Yang Ming nodded and did not ask more. Now, because of the previous assassination, Huang Lele and Xia Shui did not have the intention to go shopping. The four people quickly left the market and returned to the car. It was almost time for Yang Ming to treat others to dinner, so Yang Ming quickly returned to the car. The person just now was an assassin? He actually wanted to kill Lele? Xia Shui was a little surprised. She still had lingering fear when she thought about it. If Yang Ming hadn't discovered it in advance, then Huang Lele would be either dead or injured. Yes, but it shouldn't be Huang Lele's enemy. I guess it should be directed at me. Yang Ming hesitated and said. Directed at you? Xia Shui was slightly stunned. Yes, the airport was the first time, and the night market here was the second time. Although these people are targeting Huang Lele on the surface, I feel that their purpose is to attack me. Yang Ming nodded and said. Oh. Attack you? Xia Shui and Lu Yezi looked at Yang Ming at the same time with a strange expression. That's right. Yang Ming said, I have been thinking about this issue since the beginning. Lele doesn't have any enemies. Even if there is absolutely no possibility of using the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to kill her. With her identity and background, it is not enough to reach such a height. You are right. Xia Shui nodded and said. But why did this person want to attack you? To disturb if you are not by their side, isn't it easier to do it? Xia Shui was engaged in criminal investigation. She immediately considered the key point of the problem. Normally, this is the case, but there is an accident. Yang Ming said, first of all, Songjiang City is currently my territory. It can be said to be a monolithic block. The police have Uncle Chin, the underworld has Bao Sanli and Ho Jinhan, and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau has Fatty's people. If they want to attack my people in Songjiang City, it is undoubtedly more difficult. Xia Shui nodded. Yang Ming was right. Songjiang City had been armed to the teeth. When the opponent made a move, I am afraid it would be difficult to succeed. Secondly, now that I have cut off the contact with Songjiang City, that is to say, I may not be able to receive the situation in Songjiang City. As a result, as long as the opponent is not stupid, they will not choose to attack Songjiang City. So, they will attack Lele. Yang Ming said, I believe that as long as we embark on the journey, Lele's danger will be automatically removed. I didn't expect that your analysis is so comprehensive. Xia Shui couldn't help but admire, so, it seems that our opponent is afraid? This is a good thing. It will increase our confidence before we set off. That's not necessarily the case. As far as I know, Elder Yu is not a person who is afraid of trouble. He is very arrogant, and this person has the capital to be arrogant. He is indeed powerful. The evil technique that he practices is really powerful. Yang Ming said, the reason why he did this is probably very simple. That is, he is currently being dragged down by some things, or he has reached a bottleneck in his cultivation. He is in the midst of a breakthrough and doesn't want to be disturbed. We are not going at the right time, so he wants to stop or delay our actions. Then, after we go, can we take him down in one fell swoop? Xia Shui asked with some excitement. Can you find him? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Moreover, even if we find him, we may not be his opponent. It is true that he doesn't want to be disturbed when he is cultivating, but even if the cultivation fails, we may not be his opponent. So this Elder Yu is so powerful. Xia Shui smiled awkwardly. Yes, his disciple is so powerful. This person is definitely not ordinary. Forget it. Forget it, let's not think too much about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's not talk about this. I think Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu are ready. Let's contact them now. Yang Ming waved his hand and stopped the topic. That's right. As long as we set off and leave Yanjing, Lele will be safe. Xia Shui knew how to draw inferences and immediately saw the root of the matter. Since the person targeted is you, if you leave, there is no point in assassinating Huang Lele. It will be a waste of manpower and money. That's right. So, during this time, Lele will be by my side. Let her live in the base. That way, she will be safe. Yang Ming nodded and said. Then, he looked at Lu Yezi and said, you call Feng Tianlong and ask where they are. Yes, boss. Lu Yezi nodded and immediately dialed Feng Tianlong's internal phone number. Soon, Feng Tianlong answered the phone. This was the professional quality that an agent should have. When the phone rang, he would answer it immediately. This kind of person would find it difficult to miss their own phone call like ordinary people. This was because they were sensitive to the ringtone that they set. They could hear it immediately after the phone rang. Chapter 2030. Hello, Yezi, this is Long Fong. Fong Tianlong picked up the phone and said quickly. Tianlong, where are you? Boss is going to treat us to a meal. Lu Yezi said with a smile, we are not on a mission now. You don't have to be so careful. Susu and I are at XX Commercial Building. You also know that Susu probably won't have a chance to come back after leaving this time, so I'm accompanying her to walk around. Fong Tianlong lowered his voice and said with some helplessness and sadness in his tone. Then why don't I tell boss that we won't eat today? You guys can spend some quality time together? Lu Yezi pondered and asked. That's not necessary. Business is more important. The most important thing now is our mission. In order to complete the mission better, we must cultivate a good team spirit. We just met the captain, so it's more important to have a meal together and get familiar with each other. Fong Tianlong immediately declined Lu Yezi's kindness. In his opinion, work was more important. Well, you choose a place nearby. Boss and I will go there immediately. Lu Yezi didn't insist. After all, what Fong Tianlong said made sense. Let's go to Wangji Barbecue Bar. It's self-service. There are private rooms and it's convenient to talk. How about it? Fong Tianlong didn't propose a high-end restaurant. He wasn't a luxurious person. Besides, it was the first time he met the captain. He also knew that the captain was paying for the meal out of his own pocket. This money couldn't be reimbursed, so he didn't add any burden to Yang Ming. Okay, let's go there now. Lu Yezi didn't care about what to eat. He just wanted a few people to gather. After hanging up the phone, Lu Yezi drove Yang Ming, Xia Shui, and Huang Lele to the address of Wangji Barbecue Bar. At the same time, Alice received the news that the mission had failed and the assassin had been caught. However, Alice's expression didn't change. This result had long been within her expectations. She didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. The person she found was the worst assassin. It was just to deal with Falcon. Although Falcon was Alice's brother, Alice didn't want to kill Yang Ming deep in her heart. As for why, Alice didn't know. She picked up the phone and dialed Falcon's number. Brother, I'm Xiao AI. After the call was connected, Alice said straightforwardly, the operation failed. The killer was caught by Yang Ming and handed over to the police. Failed again? Falcon sighed after hearing Alice's words. Xiao AI, you didn't try your best, right? Try my best? You also know that Yang Ming is an assassin, and a very powerful one at that. In front of him, it is extremely difficult to assassinate. Even the nail of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was useless, so what was the use of a killer? Huang Lele is inseparable from him. It is estimated that before Yang Ming leaves, he will not be separated from her. At present, it seems that I have no chance to make a move, and I don't want to lose any more people. Alice said. But Xiao AI, you also know the seriousness of the matter. If we can't affect Yang Ming this time and let Yang Ming smoothly go to Yunnan Miaojiang to perform the mission, then Elder Yu will be in trouble. Elder Yu is now in the critical stage of leveling up and breaking through. He is about to master the divine art. At this time, he can't be disturbed. Falcon said, as long as we delay Yang Ming and wait for Elder Yu to master the divine art, it will be easy to get rid of Yang Ming. Brother, why do you have to get rid of Yang Ming? Alice asked, do you know that dealing with Yang Ming consumes a lot of our strength? Our biggest enemy now is not Yang Ming, but Central. Xiao AI, what are you talking about? You can't simply say this. Falcon was shocked after listening to Alice's words. He quickly lowered his voice and said, before we have absolute strength, don't mention this in the future. It will get us into trouble. But, brother, how much strength did we lose to deal with Yang Ming? If we keep this strength and use it as a bargaining chip to deal with Central, isn't it better? Alice asked. Xiao AI, you are too naive. The bargaining chips in our hands are nothing in Central's eyes. Falcon smiled bitterly and said, Central's power is not something we can imagine. Do you know what Dr. Benjamin is studying? He is studying the Iron Men. That is, people whose bodies are made of steel. This kind of person has infinite strength and is invulnerable. Our strength is nothing in front of them. Their individual strength is obviously stronger than ours. Moreover, it is said that Dr. Benjamin is still cultivating biochemical monsters. We are really too insignificant. If it wasn't for Yang Ming's interference, my strength would be far stronger than it is now. Yang Ming ruined my good deeds. How can I let him stay? But, brother, have you ever thought about using Yang Ming's power to get us out of Central? Instead of going against Yang Ming, why don't we rope him in and let him be our helper? In this way, won't our strength be stronger? Alice asked. Cooperate with him? Can his strength compete with Central? Can he go against those Iron Men? When Falcon said this, he suddenly paused and said, That's not right. Xiao AI, is there a reason why you are speaking up for Yang Ming? Tell me the truth. What is going on between you and Yang Ming? What else can there be between me and him? We are just acquaintances, friends on the surface. What else can there be? Alice shook her head and denied it. Brother, don't keep making wild guesses. I'm saying this sincerely for you and for our future. We can't stay in Central forever, right? We can't work for Central forever, right? If we don't have any freedom, what is the meaning of life? It can be said that Central controls our life and death at all times. We don't have any freedom. This is not the life we want at all. It's too late, but it's too late. Yang Ming is leaving. It's useless to say this. Anyway, the interception failed. Let Yang Ming go. Everything depends on Elder Yu. Falcon sighed, let me think about Central again. My head is in a mess because of what you said. I know what you said, and it is what I have been doing all these years. I don't want to be controlled by Central. I want to fight against Central, but my strength is not enough. Everything is just empty words. Okay, brother, then I won't disturb you. Think about it yourself. Anyway, what I mean now is that I don't agree with going against Yang Ming. I suggest that we preserve our strength. Alice said. Chapter 2031. After hanging up the phone call with Alice, the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, couldn't help but fall into deep thought. All along, he had regarded Yang Ming as his greatest enemy and stumbling block. He hated Yang Ming to the core, but after listening to his sister Alice's words, Falcon's heart was shaken for the first time. He didn't know if he was right or wrong, but there was one point. His purpose of doing all this was to get rid of Central's control. His crazy revenge on Yang Ming was only because Yang Ming had obstructed his plan to get away from Central. But now that he had calmed down and carefully thought about what Alice said, it was not unreasonable. If he cooperated with Yang Ming and fought against Central together, it might not be a bad idea. Phew. Falcon let out a long breath. The more he wanted to calm down, the more chaotic his mind was. He felt that his thoughts were not smooth, and he couldn't calm down to think about the future. Forget it. In any case, Yang Ming going to Miaojiang to fight to the death with Elder Yu is a foregone conclusion. This can't be changed no matter what. If Yang Ming really killed Elder Yu and returned safely, then it was not impossible to cooperate with him, or even rely on him. As long as he had the strength. As long as he dealt with Elder Yu, then Falcon believed that he had the strength to fight against Central. Of course, if Yang Ming couldn't return safely from Yunnan Miaojiang, then there was no point in thinking about these things about the future now. It was just worrying about nothing. Everything depends on you, Yang Ming. As an opponent, you made me suffer setbacks time and time again. I hope you can also make Elder Yu suffer setbacks. As long as you return safely, then I will reconsider our relationship. Falcon seemed to have made up his mind and said solemnly. After that, Falcon picked up the phone and dialed a number. Hello? After a while, Elder Yu's gloomy voice came from the phone. Falcon? How is it? Are you going to tell me a piece of good news? You have delayed Yang Ming? Sorry, so far, Yang Ming's journey has been very smooth, Falcon said faintly. What? Didn't you promise me that you would hold him back at all costs? Why is it so smooth? Elder Yu's voice sounded extremely angry. It could be imagined that delaying Yang Ming's journey should be a very important thing for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shouted himself hoarse. It's not wrong to promise you, but Yang Ming isn't an ordinary person. You know very well that I've already lost 2 of my best men because of this. One of them was a spy we planted in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and both of them were removed by Yang Ming. We've done our best, and we've suffered heavy losses. Falcon said truthfully. So, we've decided to give up. No. My Jin Gang Gu is about to be refined, and it will be cultivated soon. Moreover, the evil technique I cultivate is also at a critical moment. I don't have the mind to deal with Yang Ming and the others. If you let them come over now, what if they ruin my good deed? Elder Yu roared. It could be seen that he was very angry. Elder Yu, are you mistaken? I'm not your subordinate, I'm from Central. We're just in a cooperative relationship, and you have no right to order me around. Falcon sneered. You're still a little bit lacking to show off in front of me. Don't make your identity unclear. Humph. Elder Yu snorted unhappily. Last time, our cooperation failed because of me. This time, it's because of you, so we're even. We don't owe each other anything. Whatever you say. I've done my best. It's not that I didn't work hard, but Yang Ming isn't an ordinary person, said Falcon. I'll think of another way. Elder Yu hung up the phone unhappily. Falcon shook his head and didn't take Elder Yu's attitude seriously. Elder Yu was indeed very powerful. This was undeniable, but in front of Central, he didn't dare to be rash, so Falcon didn't care about this. Standing up, Falcon left his room. Huang Yukai, who was in another room, heard the sound of Falcon's door opening. He also left the room in a wheelchair and nodded to Falcon. Boss, how is it? What's the news? It failed. There's news from Xiao Ai's side. The assassin was also caught by Yang Ming. Falcon shook his head and said, Yang Ming is really cunning. The assassin is useless in front of him. He can't do anything at all. AI, it seems that letting Huang Lele get injured to delay Yang Ming's time won't work. Huang Yukai said, we lost 2 people at once. Let's change the plan. There's no need to change it. I'm going to give up on this matter. Falcon waved his hand and said, the plan is stopped. I don't plan to deal with Yang Ming. Stopped. Huang Yukai was slightly stunned. What do you mean? We're not taking any more measures? All the plans have been stopped. Yes, I have already spoken to Elder Yu and told him my intentions. Before Yang Ming leaves, I won't take any more measures. The loss this time is big enough. I can't afford to lose too much, said Falcon. So that's how it is. I understand. Falcon's mood was surprisingly stable this time. In the past, he wanted to kill Yang Ming to avenge Wang Jitao, but now it was a little different. It was as if he was relieved in his heart. The expression on his face was a little strange. However, Falcon's mind was not on this now. His mind was still thinking about what his sister, Alice, had said, so he did not notice Huang Youcai's expression. In the car, Yang Ming and Lu Yezi were chatting. Tell me about your artifact. Yang Ming glanced at Lu Yezi and asked. At present, the people in the car were reliable people. Except for Yang Ming's woman, it was his teammate, Xia Shui. Lu Yezi had no need to hide it from them. Xia Shui was a teammate on this mission to Yunnan, so Lu Yezi's special ability was also to be told to Xia Shui. As members of the same death squad, they could not hide secrets from each other. Otherwise, when they encountered danger, everyone's judgment would be different. The judgment of the person with the special ability could be the main one. Lu Yezi obviously had this ability to predict good and bad luck. In this way, when the team encountered danger, they could rely on Lu Yezi to warn them. Therefore, in order for everyone to listen to Lu Yezi unconditionally, they must first explain to everyone what ability he had and what kind of ability it was. Let's talk about it later when we go to the restaurant. Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu are also there. When the time comes, we can also tell them. We don't have to waste our energy twice. Lu Yezi hesitated and said. Chapter 2032. He wasn't trying to avoid it, but he really thought so because he was going to tell Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu about this secret. That's fine, we'll talk about it when we get to the restaurant. Yang Ming nodded and didn't say anything else. Xia Shui, on the other hand, was confused and curious. What divine weapon does Lu Yezi have? What happened? It's a long story. When we get to the restaurant, we'll let him explain himself. Yang Ming found it hard to explain Lu Yezi's situation, so he decided to let him explain himself. When Yang Ming arrived at Wang's barbecue, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu had already arrived. They were nearby, so they were much faster than Yang Ming and the others. Feng Tianlong had already booked a small private room. Yang Ming, Lu Yezi, Xia Shui, and Huang Lele entered the room together. Because the following conversation involved some confidential matters, the first thing Yang Ming did after entering the room was to check the security of the room to see if there were any eavesdropping or surveillance devices. As an assassin, Yang Ming was very sensitive to these things and could easily find these hidden devices. Captain, I've already checked. Everything is safe. Feng Tianlong saw Yang Ming's actions and was impressed. This captain was also a careful person. Although he wasn't part of the staff, his professionalism wasn't any worse than the people present. It's good that it's safe, Yang Ming said, but he still checked a few blind spots. It wasn't that he didn't trust Feng Tianlong, but Yang Ming was afraid that he would overlook something. In short, it was better to be safe than sorry. Seeing Yang Ming check a few blind spots, Feng Tianlong was even more impressed. There was even a place that he overlooked, but Yang Ming didn't let it go. After Yang Ming checked, he didn't say anything else. A normal restaurant like this wouldn't have eavesdropping or surveillance devices. Yang Ming was just in case. Have you ordered? Yang Ming asked. Not yet, I'm waiting for Captain. Feng Tianlong said, this is a barbecue buffet. The meat is ready-made and will be delivered immediately after you order. There's no need to wait. You guys can just order. It's my first time here, so I don't know what's good, Yang Ming said casually. Alright, then we'll order first. Feng Tianlong didn't argue. They were going to be brothers in the same trench. There was no need to be so polite. He just had to follow orders. The captain's words were orders. There was a self-service food ordering machine in the room, which was very advanced. Yang Ming looked at it. It was a device similar to a KTV music ordering device. As long as you ordered a dish, you could enter a number behind it. When you finished ordering, you could submit it directly. It was also very convenient to add dishes. This was very smart and saved a lot of labor. Yang Ming noted it down and prepared to tell Tianlong and the others when he was free. The tourism hotels on Island X could also adopt this kind of self-service service. Captain, I ordered some meat dishes, desserts and vegetables that the ladies like. Is there anything else you want? Feng Tianlong asked after ordering. Lele, what about you? Yang Ming turned to look at Huang Lele. Nothing else. These are enough. Huang Lele looked at the order and nodded. As a stewardess, Huang Lele wasn't picky about food. She often ate work meals at work, so Huang Lele didn't have the capriciousness of a lady from a big family. Xia Shui and Lu Yezi didn't have much to choose from, so Feng Tianlong directly ordered. Not long after, the waiter sent the dishes in. Everyone, the dishes are all here. Do you want me to demonstrate the method of barbecuing? No need, we're regular customers, Feng Tianlong waved his hand and said. All right, take your time. If you need anything, just call us directly from the ordering machine. The waiter nodded politely and left. They sat around the table, brushed oil on the iron plate and prepared to barbecue. All right, we're all on the same side. There's no need to be so polite. Let's talk while we eat. Yang Ming waved his hand, indicating that they didn't need to be so formal and just eat casually. In the future, when we're on a mission, we don't need to follow the rules when eating. All right. Then we won't be polite. Lu Yezi nodded. Tianlong, serve the meat. Huh, okay. Feng Tianlong also felt that Yang Ming was very much to his liking as the captain. He didn't put on airs at all, which made him feel very comfortable. Let's talk about what we're good at while eating. Lu Yezi, you go first. Yang Ming called Lu Yezi's name because Yang Ming was very curious about what the so-called artifact was and what its use was. I knew that you would be the first to let me speak, boss. All right, then I'll speak. Lu Yezi nodded and said directly, isn't this mission very dangerous? My family gave me a jade pendant. The function of this jade pendant is very powerful. It has the function of predicting bad luck. For example, if I or my teammates are in danger, I can send out a warning signal in advance, but it's only limited to teammates near the jade pendant, which is to say, teammates who are with me. If they are too far away, then it's useless. Oh. This thing is quite magical. Yang Ming couldn't help but be a little surprised after hearing Lu Yezi's words. There is such a powerful thing? Of course. Otherwise, how can it be called a divine artifact? Lu Yezi nodded and said, so, I can tell everyone very responsibly that when we are carrying out the mission, if there is any danger, I will warn everyone in advance. I hope everyone can listen to me. No problem. Since Lu Yezi has such a powerful treasure, our team's safety warning will be handed to you in the future. Yang Ming said directly. As the captain, Yang Ming's words represented the way the team would fight in the future. So when Yang Ming nodded, the others naturally wouldn't have any objections. No way, Yezi. I say, you have such a powerful thing. How come we didn't know before? Feng Tianlong looked at Lu Yezi in surprise and was shocked. I just got it. If it wasn't for the danger of this mission, my family wouldn't have equipped me with such a powerful equipment. Lu Yezi said, where did I get it before? How can I tell you? Your family actually has such a good thing. By the way, Yezi, what does your family do? Why didn't you mention it to us once? Feng Tianlong asked with some interest. TSK, what does your family do? You didn't tell us either. Your kung fu has reached perfection, so your family is definitely not ordinary. Lu Yezi curled his lips and didn't mention his identity and background. Instead, he led the topic to Feng Tianlong. Chapter 2033. Me? Didn't I say that I had a falling out with my family and am alone now? What's there to say? I've already left my family. What happens to my family has nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter if I say it or not. Feng Tianlong shrugged and said. Falling out? What happened? Yang Ming turned his head and looked at Feng Tianlong curiously. You don't look like such a reckless person. In our job, we can't be reckless, right? This. Feng Tianlong was embarrassed after hearing Yang Ming's words. I know about this. Let me say it. Just look at him and he'll be embarrassed. Lu Yezi was excited. Tianlong's family is very big. I'm not sure what kind of family it is, but it seems to be a hidden family. The kind that people don't know about. Boss, do you understand? I know. Yang Ming nodded. In this world, there were too many big families. They weren't like those on the surface, but these families were usually very low-key. If Yang Ming wasn't an assassin himself, he wouldn't have heard of the Butterfly family and Charles family. As for Tianlong, as the leader of his generation, he was very outstanding. According to their classification, he was young and accomplished. I think he was called the Yellow Rank. I'm not sure about the details, but he seemed to be very powerful. Lu Yezi said, then his family arranged a marriage for him, but Tianlong liked Su Su and didn't agree to the marriage. Boss, you know Su Su's situation. Tianlong's family was very against it, so in the end, Tianlong broke away from his family. Lu Yezi explained the situation briefly. Although it was simple, Yang Ming could feel how complicated it was to do it. For love, he sacrificed so much. This Feng Tianlong was also infatuated. Okay, Yezi, let's not talk about this. It's meaningless. I feel like I'm the happiest right now. Feng Tianlong waved his hand. Let's talk about the main topic. It's just a casual chat. Next up, let's talk about our respective abilities and specialties. Since Yi Zi has spoken, it is your turn, Sky Dragon. Do you have any heaven-defying divine artifacts? Yang Ming asked. I don't have that. Feng Tianlong shook his head, but I'm good at fighting, of course I can't assassinate. At this point, Feng Tianlong scratched his head in embarrassment. Previously, he was almost assassinated by Yang Ming, which made him feel a little embarrassed. Being good at fighting is also an advantage. Yang Ming said, my fighting skills are definitely not a problem for ordinary people, but if I encounter more powerful people, I'm afraid it won't work. If assassination and trickery don't work, Sky Dragon can make up for this shortcoming. The spirit of teamwork is very important. Yang Ming remembered the difficulties when he fought with Tianlong and the steel men like Jetson. If Yang Ming didn't have special abilities, he wouldn't be their opponent at all if he fought head-on. I know, so if I really face the enemy face-to-face, then I am responsible. Feng Tianlong nodded and said. Su Su is good at the research of voodoo, there is no doubt about this. It's Xia Shue's turn, what about you? Yang Ming turned to look at Xia Shui. At this time, Xia Shui was a little embarrassed. She came here to gain experience. She saw that everyone had their specialties, but she didn't have anything worth praising, so she said awkwardly, my fighting and assassination skills aren't very high. I can only assist everyone. I'm actually here to gain experience. Xia Shui, you don't have to belittle yourself. Maybe you don't know it yourself, but you have your role in this team. At this time, Yang Ming waved his hand and said, when Brother Xia arranged our team, he must have considered it thoroughly before arranging us together. Everyone has their own role. Everyone is together and helps each other. Just like Sky Dragon is good at fighting, Su Su is good at voodoo, and Little Yi has a warning of danger. Xia Shui, you are born in criminal investigation. You have professional knowledge in this area that we can't compare to. In the jungle, a little clue may become a key clue, so don't have that kind of experience mentality. You have to remember that you are an indispensable member of the team. You have your role, and you have to play your role at all times. I believe that Brother Xia considered this when he arranged it. Otherwise, do you think he can arrange it like this just because you are his sister? The mission this time is no joke. Ah. Xia Shui suddenly understood after listening to Yang Ming's analysis. It turns out that I am not useless, but I am useful, not just for experience. Yang Ming is right. Criminal investigation is my strength. I am a professional in this field. No one else can compare to me. I also have an advantage. Yang Ming, I understand. Xia Shui nodded solemnly. This was the first time she was convinced by Yang Ming. At this time, she really regarded Yang Ming as the captain. Yang Ming's overall view was very strong. He could see things that others couldn't see at once. As for me, I have a special ability in addition to assassination. Yang Ming said until here. He paused, lowered his voice, and whispered, "This ability is similar to Lu Yezi's ability. It is very magical." After everyone heard Yang Ming's words, they were immediately attracted by Yang Ming's words. Xia Shui also knew that Yang Ming had some magical things, but Xia Bingbao didn't tell her what was so magical. So at this time, she was also very interested. Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and even Xiao Susu also widened their eyes and looked at Yang Ming without blinking, waiting for him to continue. "My ability is X-ray vision." "And night vision," said Yang Ming. "X-ray vision. Night vision." Several people couldn't help but exclaim when they heard Yang Ming's words. "Is it true? Isn't this a special ability user? Is there really such a powerful person?" In the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, although there were special ability users, their special ability was only the sixth sense, or using thoughts to manipulate some items at close range. It could be said that it was not particularly useful. However, Yang Ming's ability was very shocking. Night vision was a little worse, but X-ray vision was an ability that only existed in TV and novels. If Yang Ming could X-ray vision, wouldn't he be the god of gamblers? Wait, god of gamblers? Lu Yezi suddenly remembered one thing. When he was in Las Vegas, wasn't Yang Ming the god of gamblers? Chapter 2034. As for Huang Lele, when she heard Yang Ming's words at this time, she also showed an expression of realization. It turned out that when they were in Macau, the reason why Yang Ming was so confident in winning the Nanjing casino was because he had a special X-ray vision ability. With this ability, it would be a waste if he didn't become the god of gamblers. "Boss, when you were in Las Vegas, did you use this ability to win others?" Lu Yezi said in amazement. "Yes, including that time when we were dealing with the steel monster, I also used this ability to find its weakness, and then we killed that guy." Yang Ming nodded and said, "Did I say? Why did you let me hit the soles of his feet? I was wondering how you knew, so it was like this." Lu Yezi said suddenly. Although Huang Lele was also very surprised, she didn't say anything. She didn't want to get involved in Yang Ming's matters. She was just a happy silly woman. As for other things, she didn't want to think about it. "Captain, is what you said true? You have X-ray vision?" Feng Tianlong's expression was a bit strange. He was born in a big family and had heard a little about some magical things. Although Lu Yezi had that kind of amazing treasure, Feng Tianlong's family also had family heirlooms. It was just that he didn't have access to it. However, Yang Ming's X-ray vision ability surprised him. He had never heard of it before. "Why, you don't believe me?" Yang Ming smiled slightly and said, "In your wallet, the number of the 100 yuan bill at the top is." As he said this, Yang Ming said a string of numbers. Yang Ming also knew that his ability was a bit too unbelievable. It wasn't surprising that Feng Tianlong had such an expression. Lu Yezi was someone who had carried out missions with him. He had also heard of his various magical things. Xia Shui was also the same when she dealt with Chen Afu. Therefore, only Feng Tianlong had this kind of expression for the first time. It was normal for him to have this kind of expression. However, Yang Ming didn't explain much. Instead, he used the simplest way to prove this fact. After listening to the number that Yang Ming said, Feng Tianlong quickly took out his wallet from his pocket, took out the bill, and compared the number on it. Xiao Susu also curiously leaned over and looked at the number on the bill with Feng Tianlong. "Ah. It's exactly the same, not a single word is different," Susu said with some shock. "Yes, exactly the same." Feng Tianlong also stood up in surprise. "That's too strong. Captain, your ability is stronger than all of us. With this ability, not only can you detect the enemy in advance, but you can also find some weaknesses of the enemy." "Ah. I know. Today on the plane, you tricked me into making a bet with you and guessing the color of my underwear. So you saw it directly." At this moment, Xia Shui suddenly woke up and remembered the scene on the plane. Her face immediately turned red. Tell me, what did you see? Did you look randomly? Ugh. Yang Ming just remembered that he used this X-ray vision ability to cheat Xia Shui on the plane before. Now that Xia Shui exposed it, he was a little embarrassed. If you want to see it, you have already seen it. It's not the first time we have met. I'm not the kind of person who likes to X-ray others for no reason. Yang Ming looked at Xia Shui. Humph. Then tell me, did you look at me or not? Xia Shui didn't give up. I did, but that was before. I definitely didn't look today. Yang Ming shook his head. Before? Wow, you had bad thoughts about me before. Xia Shui was a bit angry. Lele, look at your Yang Ming, he's actually looking at other girls. Oh. Huang Lele responded, then he's very good. Others can't even see it. Xia Shui was speechless. Huang Lele was really something. Feng Tianlong and Lu Yezi couldn't help but cover their mouths and laugh. Xiao Susu couldn't help but laugh too. Okay, let's not talk about this. It's good that everyone knows that I have this ability. Yang Ming said, however, what we said before is only known by our internal people. Of course, we don't have to hide it from Brother Xia. He also knows some of my things. After listening to Yang Ming's words, everyone nodded in agreement. After all, these things were very important and involved some personal secrets. It was best not to talk about it. These were the life-saving trump cards of the team. Who knew if there were any spies planted by the opponent in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? The previous Brother Wang had made these people vigilant. They also knew that inside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, it wasn't absolutely safe. At present, the only people they could trust were the internal members of the team and their direct superior, Xia Bingbao. After eating the barbecue, the group returned directly to the base and didn't go anywhere else. Feng Tianlong also knew about Huang Lele's encounter. Although he felt that the opponent would not make a move on him and Xiao Susu, at this moment, it was better to be safe than sorry. It was better to be on guard. Huang Lele also lived in the base of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau with Yang Ming. These days, Yang Ming put her here for Huang Lele's safety. How was it? Did you get along well with each other? Xia Bingbao asked with a smile as he watched Yang Ming and others return to the base. Basically, everyone introduced themselves to each other and got to know each other. Yang Ming nodded and said, Brother Xia, don't worry. I will let the team members familiarize with each other as soon as possible. And, this is what I was thinking. How was it? What are your thoughts about tomorrow's special training? Did you change your mind? Xia Bingbao asked. I still have the same words. Let's wait and see. If they are really capable, then I will train with everyone. There is no problem. Yang Ming said, but if they are not capable, I still oppose learning from them. I think it is better for me to personally organize everyone's special training. Okay, then it's settled. Let's wait and see tomorrow. Xia Bingbao saw that Yang Ming insisted, so he didn't say anything more. I have arranged a room for you tonight. You and Miss Huang Lele can share a room. Is that okay? Or do you want to live alone? Do you want 2 rooms? 1 room is fine. Yang Ming nodded. Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, and Xia Shui all returned to their respective rooms. It could be seen that Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu had not developed to the point of living together, because they went into 2 separate rooms. Come to think of it, this action also created a good opportunity for Feng Tianlong's love. If Feng Tianlong could grasp it, he could get the beauty. Xiao Susu's situation really didn't allow him to waste time. Chapter 2035. Yang Ming and Huang Lele didn't have many opportunities to meet. Except for the initial period of time where they were together, there were very few opportunities to be together after that. Therefore, tonight, both of them felt very romantic and warm. Both of them also knew that during this period of special training, the two of them were going to spend another period of warm and beautiful days. Husband, after you leave this time, I want to quit my current job. Huang Lele lay in Yang Ming's arms and said happily, I have thought about it. I am going to Island X to help you build this tourist attraction. Oh? You don't want to be a flight attendant anymore? Huang Lele's words made Yang Ming very surprised. I have thought about it. I won't be anymore. Huang Lele shook her head and said, in fact, I can persist until now because I often fly the Donghai route and can often meet you. Now that you are gone, I have no meaning. I feel that there is no hope, so I don't want to get on the plane. Before you met me, didn't you like this job very much? Yang Ming didn't expect Huang Lele to have already decided. In the past, when I go to Donghai, I always want to see Donghai. Now, every time I fly to Donghai, my biggest hope is to be able to see you. After this, I have no hope. Naturally, I want to wait for you to come back with peace of mind. Huang Lele said, in fact, I know that I am a silly girl. Such a girl is a bit cute, but I am also a bit of a vase. During this time, I have thought a lot. I decided to make some changes. I don't want to be a silly and useless woman all my life. There are still so many things to do on Island X. If I just stand by and do nothing, it won't be the case. After listening to Huang Lele's words, Yang Ming sighed deeply. It seemed that Huang Lele really wanted to change, and this girl had slowly grown up and matured unknowingly. She was already somewhat different from the previous Huang Lele. However, Yang Ming was also very gratified. After all, Huang Lele was developing in a good direction. No matter what she became, Yang Ming's love for her would not change. If he liked a person, he had to accept her change. All the women around Yang Ming would change with time. Even Yang Ming himself was changing. Everyone would gradually become more mature and would no longer be the children of the past. It's good that you've decided. No matter what you want to do, I will support you. Yang Ming nodded and said, as long as you're happy, it's fine. But I don't want you to change because of me. I want you to be happier. Of course you have your reasons, but that's not the whole story. I have my own reasons as well. Huang Lele said, I have also grown up. I know what to do and what not to do. I want to help you. As long as I can help you, it is the greatest happiness for me. It's great that you can think this way. Yang Ming said, okay, I'll contact Island X tomorrow. When you go there, you'll be in charge of the airport training there, right? Sooner or later, Island X would build an airport. Yang Ming had already thought about it and let Huang Lele be in charge of this matter. Okay, it just so happens that I'm good at it. Huang Lele did not refuse. Yang Ming had mentioned this to her before, so Huang Lele was not surprised. Go to bed early. Yang Ming smiled. Yes, after you leave, I want to go to Songjiang City. Huang Lele suddenly said. Oh. Go to Songjiang City? Why? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. I have a good friend in the game called Little Fox Fairy. You know it. I want to see her. Huang Lele said, she is the chairman of a company. She is very good at business. I plan to learn from her for a while before going to Island X. Is that okay? It's okay, but is this person reliable? If you don't know her background, I'm afraid you will be deceived. Yang Ming considered more. Huang Lele was relatively simple, and her friend was known on the internet. They had never met before, so Yang Ming would always be worried. It shouldn't be a problem. We have known each other for a long time. Huang Lele hesitated and said. Let's do this. I will ask my friend over there to take you to your netizen. It will be safer this way. The person Yang Ming thought of was Bao Sanli. He wanted Bao Sanli to take Huang Lele to her netizen so that no matter who her netizen was, or if there was any other purpose, with Bao Sanli, the netizen would not dare to act rashly. This was also for Huang Leilei's safety. Okay, I will listen to you. Huang Leilei also knew that Yang Ming did this for her own good, so she did not refuse. The next morning, Yang Ming, Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, and Xia Shui appeared on the training ground on time. Today was the first day of the special training. They had already agreed last night to gather at the training ground at 6 o'clock. Although Yang Ming was not interested in this training, since he had promised Xia Bingbao, he still appeared here on time. As for Huang Leilei, Yang Ming did not disturb her and let her continue to rest in the room. Today is the first day of the special training. The instructors in charge of everyone's special training this time are 2 assassins that I specially invited from a foreign assassin organization. Xia Bingbao did not hide the identity of the instructors. I also contacted this assassin organization through my connections. I hope that their arrival can play a key role in improving everyone's strength. Yang Ming did not speak. Since they were here, there were some things that did not need to be said. Strength would determine the truth. It made no sense to say anything now. Perhaps, everyone may think that there is nothing wrong with being an assassin, but what I want to say is that assassins have the expertise of an assassin. They are very good at assassination, disguise, tracking, and hiding. When you learn these skills, it will be extremely important for jungle combat. Xia Bingbao said, "Next, please use warm applause to welcome our 2 instructors." In addition to Yang Ming, Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, and Xia Shui all applauded. Assassins were very mysterious in their eyes, especially the assassins of foreign assassin groups. They should be very professional people. At this moment, they came here to train for everyone, so they should be able to learn a lot. Yang Ming's indifference was also seen in Xia Bingbao's eyes. Xia Bingbao shook his head helplessly, but he did not say anything. Under everyone's gaze, 2 young people in black clothing walked over to the training ground. They must be the assassins that Xia Bingbao mentioned. Seeing these 2 people, Yang Ming could not help but be slightly stunned. It can't be, right? How can it be them? You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.